What the hell was that? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Sorry I dropped this hand. Damn it. Better make sure it still works. Okay, well, are we late? I don't know. We're maybe a few minutes late. Anyway, I wasn't planning on going live tonight, but we have Kevin from Gotham City and Mesa, Arizona, has said we must go live tonight. We have amazing news, so therefore we're going live. I just finished eating, so therefore it took me a few minutes, but all is well. Let's see. Who could this red dot be at the bottom of the screen? Why, it's Kevin from Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, not too much. And we've got Collier here. Add to stage. Oh, dark. How are you doing, Collier?
Hello? Can you hear me? I can't hear him.
I think I could see him a second ago, but I think his camera may have gone dark. I hear cartoon music.
That's mine.
I know. What could this problem be? Let's see. Let me
It's
check
probably
here.
just a setting. Probably just
He disappeared. All he has to do is come back in. He had his camera working because I could see him, but then it went dark. Maybe he wants the camera to go the other direction. I don't know.
Oh, he just said he's having some.
We got a message here. Meyer says Thursday is anything can happen day, just like in the Mickey Mouse Club. Starshine says Collier is having technical difficulties. One moment for him. That's cool. All right. So incredible. So how are you doing today in beautiful Mesa, Arizona?
It's been a great day.
Did you get the new stuff in for next week?
I got Marvel comics for next week.
Oh my gosh.
There's only one facsimile though. You said there's. Oh no, you were talking about. You were talking about the Golden Age facsimiles.
I saw there was a bunch coming out from PS Art Books. What facsimile came out from Marvel?
That X-Men one that's from the 80s, you know, with the with Emma Frost on the cover looking all evil. Remember that?
I'm sure I have the original. I'll have to look at it. Oh, okay. There's a red dot. Maybe this is Collier.
134.
Oh, wait. There he is.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Hello there. How are you?
Hey, what's up, man?
Doing all right. Trying to get this stuff straightened out here.
Yeah, it's this StreamYard can be confusing at first. Can you turn? Is there a way to turn your camera or phone sideways so we get the CinemaScope view? The side. There you go.
There you go.
Oh wow! Look at the heads behind you.
All right. It's headphones, but we're just gonna go with it. No.
I've never used headphones or a microphone. It's all. I think it's all a big con job. These phones have perfectly good sound without any of that stuff. So, what's going on, Kevin? You got a shipment in the mail?
Yeah, I got a box today. I was worried. I cheated. I had to open it because look at this thing. Look at
no. Okay.
Look at this thing. It looks like a monster
they put in.
It's like a monster tried getting in this thing.
Maybe some tried to get out. Let's see here, man.
I really hope that it didn't damage the goods inside.
Let's see.
Right, Kevin? Or have you?
I had to, yeah. I had to.
So it sounds like everything's okay, or he would not be in the good mood.
Yeah. So I got a bog beast. He's got one right to the side of him.
Okay, look. Oh man.
That's actually an improved piece because this initial copy, there was an issue with the base coat not adhering.
Uh-huh.
So that's a little bit of a weird. I don't know if even the camera will pick it up.
Oh yeah, I can see it great.
So yours has more even, more consistent paint than I would have got on my original copy.
Man.
I had it in foam fillet too.
Oh, that's great. So the concept of film filling keeps it like permanently preserved, right? It's like
Yeah,
Yeah,
it keeps
it'll
its
last.
shape. And since you said you were in Arizona, that will like dry out masks quicker.
what's the best part of the country to preserve masks, Collier?
So what?
What's the best part of the country to live in to have a mask collection? Is
Probably a
humidity
place.
good?
That's a tricky question. Since rubber masks, latex masks are they're not forever, unfortunately. But you can do your best to keep them preserved. What I always recommend for people is when you're displaying them, but they're not actively, I guess, being enjoyed. Always preserve it with a plastic bag, a clear plastic bag like the ones I ship them in. That keeps dust from collecting on them. Dry areas tend to be very harmful for latex because it gets rid of all that what leftover moisture is in it. But I am sure that you don't want to have it in too humid of a spot because mold can grow on it.
Okay. So
All right. And I have one more in this box too.
okay.
But it was a cool timing because I just got these back in the mail today.
Oh, I have one of those in my hold pile, don't I?
Yeah,
From like
I
a
got
year
two.
ago.
I got two more if you need one.
Well,
So perfect.
anyone needs one of those.
Get this thing.
Man.
This thing's amazing, foam filled.
What is the hair from?
It's real soft,
The
whatever
hair
it
is
is.
just like fun fur that I get from. I think I got that one from Joanne Fabrics. That has like lasted me forever.
Yeah.
This looks amazing. This is really great work.
This
It's
is
nice.
Meyer, by the way, down there. He just popped on. He's over
Hey,
in
nice to meet
Northern
you.
California.
Wow.
Oh. Meyer, did you see this one?
Yeah, I saw it not this closely though. That's great. You got both these foam filled?
Yep. He just came in today.
Wow.
Now I gotta find a place to display them. Oh, look at this thing! I set up my I got this mannequin today. It's a really cool mannequin.
Oh, is that
It's like a custom made mannequin,
Oh, nice.
What about the
and
What's the
Casper
piece
shirt?
that's
he has a
displaying?
Casper shirt on it, and I have a moon. I just put a moon monster from
Oh,
Devil's Workshop on it.
Yep, I love that guy. Pete and
And he's
Felice,
got
right?
he's got the hands, and then he's got Kyle from Midnight Studios made this Fluffy the Crate Beast, hands, head, foam filled, and it looks like it's his. This is his big brother, and he's holding him. Got
yeah.
him under.
What's the deal with the Casper shirt?
He
That's
came.
what I.
He came with it.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, this is from Goodwill. It was a custom mannequin. He's articulated. You can move these arms like an action
Uh-huh.
figure.
Could we see what the head looks like under the mask if it's not too difficult?
It's just styrofoam.
Oh, it's just styrofoam. It's
It's just
not a
You
styrofoam
might
hair.
want to put a plastic
Yeah.
bag
Oh
between the
yeah.
styrofoam and the mask. Styrofoam
Already
can suck
done.
out the latex,
I was
Oh yeah,
gonna
we
suck
know
ask,
up the
that.
moisture.
so I was
Yeah,
gonna
we
ask
know
a
that.
question about that because I've been putting bags on mine and I wanted to ask if that was effective.
I wrap them in tape, the styrofoam, and then I put plastic around it too.
So there you go. That'll help keep it from petrifying the mask.
But I try not to use styrofoam, but sometimes I just have to. Let's check out the lights and
I
check
do
it out.
too. I always make sure it's covered in either plastic bag or do what you do with the tape.
Okay. Wow, that looks great, Kevin. Great choice to display that mask in those hands on the torso. Because it could be anything. He has so many things to display on this new torso, so I think this was a good choice because it's bright, stands out. Right?
Yeah, because now I could have put a Bigfoot or the Bog Beast.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can switch it out anytime you want too. It's a really cool display.
Collier, have you already seen the collection he has in his store?
I don't think I have. I see Carlisle in there.
Yeah, Rainbow Carlisle. There's an '83 Dawn Post.
And a zombie next to it, a Vern Langdon zombie.
Yep. Brand new '83 mask, never worn.
Nice.
Collier, do you collect monster toys from the 60s or from the past?
Not toys, but I do have my own collection of masks up here.
Let's take a look real quick. Okay.
Basically got this is a one for my buddies at Monster Resurrection. Cash and his dad.
That thing's cool. It reminds me
trying
of
to remember
a figure.
Who sculpted. Sorry?
That reminds me of a figure that came out in the '80s.
Yeah, it might have been based on it. I'm trying to figure out who sculpted this one. I believe it's Anders Lurch, but so far I haven't gotten that verified. Then this one was an old Monster of the Month Jordu Shell sculpted one.
That thing's nice.
And this one might look familiar because this is actually the mask that my Beach Goon that you just got was based on. It was actually a remake of this old Paper Magic Boogeyman mask.
That's the Elusive Concepts one?
No, it's not a Elusive Concept. It was from Paper Magic Group.
Okay. Didn't Paper Magic turn into Elusive Concepts or the other way around?
I think Paper Magic might have bought an Elusive Concepts. Regardless, I know Trick or Treat now owns both of those.
Yeah.
Speaking of Trick or Treat, this is my Tots Frankenstein mask that Justin Mabry sculpted right next to his Michael Myers. Then this one is another piece that I got from a fellow artist.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his name is escaping me right now.
I'll tell you his name. I have one of his masks right here.
Yeah.
It's RZVFX, I think. Is that right?
I don't think so.
Not RZFX, no?
No.
It looks like RZFX.
I think it's Nightmare something.
Oh, okay.
This is my friend Frescura Obscura. I got this as another trade from Mask Fest. And this is my Decade. This is a Pete and Felice mask. Cool. Bought it. This is the Tots one. I did a repaint of it. And of course, I have my menagerie of Jasons.
How long have you been creating masks, Collier?
Probably since I was 13. I started out with hockey masks. I was, of course, massive Friday the 13th nut. Started with the hockey masks I would get from the Mount Air Dollar General. Repaint them. Wasn't satisfied with that, so I would, back in the day when Fright Stuff was still a thing, I would buy Fright Stuff blanks, paint them up. Then eventually I had to make my own latex mask, so I learned that whole process. So going on 15 years now, I guess.
And movies that you were television that you were influenced by at the beginning, like when you were a kid, what were there big movies that you remember that really got you into the idea of painting and creating it?
Yeah, of course. There was like stuff like, of course, Friday the 13th. The original 33 Kong
Yeah.
was a major influence for me. The Universal classics, of course, mainly Frankenstein, Wolfman, and Creature from the Black Lagoon. I was a massive Godzilla nut, still am. Love the Big G. I actually got to make a Godzilla bust last year for a client. That was probably one of the most fun I've had on a build. Yeah, I'm of course a big fan of the squashploitation genre. One of my first horror movies I've watched was Sasquatch Mountain. One of the back when Sci-Fi Channel used to make all of these low budget horror movies that they would air every Saturday and marathon them.
Yeah.
So there's that, Chupacabra Terror, or Chupacabra Dark Seas, as it's also known. Pretty much anything that had a rubber monster in it, I was all for it.
John Goris is asking, what are your feelings on Carlo Rambaldi?
Carlo Rambaldi, talking about, he was the guy that did the giant animatronic for the 70s Kong, right?
I know he was involved in that. He might have been. That was a terrible atrocity. I'm sure that he did better things in his career than that.
I've heard stories about him. Of course, I never met the man. I'm just a young buck. So I really don't have that much of an opinion on him. I think he was also did the animatronic gator for Alligator.
Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't give more of an elaborate opinion.
What are you showing
I see
here,
you're
Kevin?
pulling out the comics.
These are mini comics that he made.
Oh, wow.
You want to see this one? Is
The Van
all right,
Meter
so
Visitor.
High Strangeness is a series that you're doing.
Yeah, it was a mini series that I did. I'm up in the air on whether or not I'm going to continue it or if it's going to kind of evolve into something new. It was just something to experiment with. A friend of mine is having me make a comic book for him. So this was kind of like my practice run, trying to explore this new medium.
It's cool.
So yeah, of course, me being a big fan of paranormal stuff, I decided to explore legends that I've researched myself. So there's the Bigfoot of the Garden of the Gods down in southern Illinois.
This is really good.
Hey man, appreciate it.
Yeah, it looks good. I'd be interested in seeing some of this stuff. It looks cool.
Yeah. Wow.
That was going to be my other question, Collier. Was your what you're into in relevance to your age is kind of unusual. So, were you mentored in any way? Like, did you have somebody older than you or that influenced you, that steered you towards this stuff? Because kids your age don't really watch Universal monster movies much, so it's an interesting thing.
I guess so. Growing up, I watched a lot of James Rolfe's Monster Madness every Halloween over at Cinemassacre. So that kind of opened the floodgates to a lot of older horror movies for me. And that's how I found a lot of the Universal classic movies. And that's how I found a lot of that developed my love for more offbeat horror movies, like discovering stuff like Trauma. One of my all-time favorite indie movies, the Deadly Spawn.
Yeah, Deadly Spawn was great. John
Oh yeah,
Goris, John Goris, by the way, he's an animator. He's just asked you about Carlo Rombala. He's asking you about John Buechler, Terror Vision, Troll, and Cellar Dweller.
oh, John Buechler, he was like one of my
Buechler,
heroes
sorry.
because, like, going back to Friday the 13th, I straight up have his Jason tattooed on me.
Oh, hold on.
And there you got Bob. This is my magnum opus. This is the
wow.
piece that won me a contest over at Stan Winston School.
Oh,
And I
Did you
believe,
go to that school?
did I send you the Bob comic?
Did you go to the Stan Winston School?
Yes, I did attend Stan Winston School since it was online schooling. I was in a few of those classes. Well, at least a baby-faced version of me was. Me minus all this hair.
Am I missing one of these comics?
I was gonna say it would have been a red cover. Oh, I must not have sent you one. What?
It might have fallen. It might have fallen out of one of these holes because these were inside this envelope.
Yeah.
And then, when I opened it, it was like this. And then,
Well, I'm gonna have to get one sent to you then.
hold on. Let me double check the box. Oh, I found another. Are these stickers? I found another sticker in there. Oh yeah, I found. Look at this. This was in there in the box.
There you go. You got at least another Bigfoot sticker. All right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to. All right, I'm gonna have to send you one of these. This is my Bob comic, Abaddon.
Hold on, let's send you to the big screen.
Oh yeah, hold on. I was feeding the dog. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Abaddon. Just a little nice
What's the
splatter
cover look
punk.
like? You show the cover again. Oh, cool. Is that mask that you just showed?
Yeah. Because that mask was meant to be in its own short film that I was developing. Unfortunately, as happens a lot of time in film world, some things make it, some things don't. So,
the great thing about comics is you don't need a budget. You can make whatever you want.
Yep, you're just limited by your pen and pencil. And that's kind of why I love the medium of comics right now. Is it cuts the bullshit.
You gotta keep making them this small because these guys nowadays they get them printed like real comics, and then they gotta charge like $15 a comic for them, and nobody's gonna buy that.
Oh yeah. Just for like short stories, that's no reason to do that. I'd rather just for stuff like that is one-off experimental stuff. Old tried and true zine comic maker, just get it printed at the local Office Max or Kiko's, whatever, what have you.
Print them right at home.
Yeah. Hell, print them on demand. I saw John ask some other questions. Was there other stuff that he wanted? Oh, he also asked about Troll. I love the Troll series, especially the original one from John Buechler.
Do you? Is there anything else you collect? Do you collect old monster magazines or?
I do have a bunch of old monster magazines that I kind of got as kind of hand-me-downs in a way. I'm friends with a guy named Richard Clemenson. He, for the past, the better part of his life, has run his own fan magazine called Little Shop of Horrors that is all about Hammer horror.
Yeah, I know the magazine. Yeah.
Yep. It's almost done. So he's almost retiring that, but he's also kind of slowly giving away his collection, making sure it goes to people who enjoy it, because he's at the point where he's like, if my kids get it, they're just probably going to toss it in the trash. So he's
Right.
just giving it away. So I got a bunch of like his old "We Belong Dead." I'm still having to go through it. Mad Scientist were a lot of them. I of course have my main bread and butter. What I collect is movies. I recently, what have I recently gotten? I got a copy of the McPherson tape, which is probably one of the first found footage movies. Alien abduction horror movie. It's really fun. I love it. Along with that, I got Frogman. I actually ran into one of my friends the other day at work. She was in, and we were talking. She's like, "Yeah, I was in this movie called Frogman." I was like, "Wait, what? You were in that? I'm gonna have to rewatch it."
John Goris is asking, that an aquarium back there, any cool critters?
Oh yeah, that is our little baby girl, Raiden. She is a 5 foot long corn snake,
Oh,
and she's just a cat in a snake body.
that's cool.
I would get her out, but we literally just fed her, so we don't want her to puke up that mouse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have one snake and then one crested gecko whose brain is constantly in buffer mode.
Are you currently sculpting any new masks, or what are your projects now?
Well, I got this guy right here. I am
Yeah.
working on him between stuff that I can't show because those are for clients.
Okay.
This is a Hopkinsville goblin.
Oh, that show is
Another.
awesome. I've been watching that ever since you told me about that show.
Oh, hell yeah.
Uh huh.
It's crazy, isn't it?
That show's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I'm obsessed with that show, I had to make my own Hopkinsville goblin.
I have to get one of those from you when you're done with it.
Oh, I can't wait to mold it, cast it. I'm pretty certain I'm gonna give it a paint job that's kind of like a crested gecko's colorings, with a
Mhm.
main yellow tone, banana yellow tone, and kind of brown speckly patterns. Along with that, I am actually sculpting a somewhat friendlier Bigfoot.
Yeah. So, do you have clients that they commission masks and then they go into production, or are they just one of a kind masks that they have for themselves?
It depends on the project and kind of what I'm feeling for it. Um, if it's just a mask design I already have, like in the case of our friend here, he just wanted one of my Bigfoots and a copy of my Beach Goon mask.
Yeah.
I'll just run it up on demand for them. And I'll take, like, for the case of the Bigfoot, I have a couple of different variations. Like, I have this black version here in the background,
Mhm.
along with this brown
Oh, wow.
version.
So no two are
So
really
I kind
alike.
of change it up.
Yeah.
Um, I've also done one-offs, like that Godzilla bust I mentioned earlier. That was a one-off foam fabrication build. So that was me essentially sculpting it out of foam instead of doing the usual sculpt it out of clay, mold it, and cast it. Actually, the way that they did the original Deadly Spawn, I believe, because I have the book of the making of Deadly Spawn. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So yeah, I'll do one-offs. Sometimes I even, for some builds, if you want something that's not quite as big as a mask, I'll do little one-off maquette sculpts that is just like
Oh,
super sculpty, or these days I use cosplay. because cosplay can take a bit more abuse. I actually have my own frogman that I made.
That's cool.
And since I'm talking with some writers about possibly doing a bigger version of the Van Meter Visitor comic, I'm working on a bigger Visitor.
That's cool.
So you're into gore films?
Gory films, it depends, really. I'm not into the torture porn genre like Saw. I've only seen up to 3. I've never checked out any of the Hostels. I'm mostly a monster kid at heart.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I'm not really into blood for blood's sake.
I guess I'm
I
thinking
find it
more of the
boring.
classic stuff like Dawn of the Dead, the Savini stuff, or I look for
It was less
Lotus
of Dawn
stuff.
of the Dead for me, and more I was into Return of the Living Dead. Those were the zombie movies I loved.
Yeah.
Because the zombies, they weren't boring to me. I've always found zombie movies to be very boring. I liked Return of the Living Dead because they were characters at that point.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any influence in old comics like EC or?
A lot of my comic influences come from like the weird offbeat stuff because when I go to the comic book store, the EC comics were a little bit ahead of my time, and when I did go to the comic book store, I would always go for like the weirdo ones. Like I remember finding a book called Kingdom Bum, which was essentially the pitch there was it was Game of Thrones but with homeless people.
Right. Yeah, I don't know that book.
If you could find it, I highly recommend it. It's my type of goofiness. There's a local comic book creator that his name escapes me. I believe it's Mark something, but he did like a book called War on Christmas, which was essentially take what was it? Die Hard and make it a blatant Christmas movie. So it was Hans Gruber attacking the North Pole, trying to get Santa's sleigh so he can bomb everywhere.
So is he based in Des Moines, the artist you're talking about?
Yes, he is. But he's traveled around. I think he has an online shop, if I correct me if I'm wrong. Just look up either War on Christmas or his main book that he's done is Van Helsing versus Carcharodon Nosferatu. Essentially a vampire Jaws book.
What are the best places around Des Moines to go to for people into what you're into?
To collect J City and Hobby, hands down.
Okay, that's in Des Moines or near Des Moines?
It's in Des Moines. They have multiple stores in Des Moines. There's one on the south side and one in West Des Moines. They used to have one in Merle Hay, but I understand that one's moving to Ankeny now.
So does it appeal to people into monsters, or does it have old comics?
Oh, they have all sorts of anyone with nerdy hobbies. That's where I get a lot of my horror movies. They have a horror section specifically, and they carry horror figures. That's where I got one of my King Kong figures. They have a bunch of Frankenstein
Predators. They have a lot of Godzilla toys. And they carry DVDs, comics, CDs. It's essentially just a well-rounded hobby shop.
And what's it called
Also
again?
trading cards too, of course.
What's it called again?
JCD and Hobby.
Oh, JCD and okay. Do they have old comics as far as you know from the 60s?
I believe they do. At that point, they get pricier.
Yeah.
And it also depends on the store because each store kind of specializes in a different thing. Like the South Side store is mainly the movie store
Okay.
because that's like half of their store. Um, I find that the West Side one services more the gamers, like all the trading card fans, video
That
game
would be
fans.
one I'd avoid.
Yeah.
What about are there places that some of those locations that would have old famous Monsters of Filmland kind of magazines? So that's the
I would probably check out maybe the South Side one. They at that point they mostly have like more recent ones like Fangoria,
okay.
Horror Hound. That's what I get a lot of there.
Yeah.
There's a great kind of successor to the EC Comics called Vampirus Carmilla.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I'm well aware of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few issues of that.
Yeah. Well, it's a descendant. I mean, because it was EC and then it was Warren in the '60s and '70s, and then that's an imitation of Warren. So it's kind of like a great grandchild of EC. Let's see. I've
Yeah.
been missing some comments here, and I've been ignoring them. Sorry. John Goris says favorite Star Wars monster original trilogy only. That's the only trilogy.
Wampa.
Yeah. Man, I love that hammerhead or whatever in the bar in
Oh,
the
the
canteen.
weird tea head guy.
Yeah, whatever he was called. Yeah. My wife says I quit after the first Saw. LOL. Yeah, I think I did too. I don't think I got past that. She says I turned away from watching the Hostel movies too. Yeah. Starshine says, same, wasn't my jam. John Gora says, I'm going to simp for the zombies in Dawn of the Dead. They had character to them S- somewhere in them still. Yeah, well, I love Dawn of the Dead too, but I know what you're talking about is like the zombies that are from Return of the Living Dead, where it doesn't look like there could be a person inside. That's the thing about it's not someone painted blue but someone that's actually rotted to the point where you don't think there could be an actor in that. They're more
Yeah.
like puppets, like the woman that's strapped to the gurney and her spine's moving around and she's got red hair. That was a pretty great image. I saw that the night it came out. Let's see. John says, "What about the zombies in the Blind Dead films? They're kind of slow too, but got their own thing going on." I know John's really into the Blind Dead movies.
I haven't gotten to see the Blind Dead films yet. They've been
Oh,
on my radar. It's one of those that I've been kind of saving to watch with my group of friends,
yeah.
so that we can all enjoy it together.
Is there a big community of people into horror movies around in the area you're in, or a small one?
Maybe. I'm the worst person to ask because I am a recluse and I just hang out with my group of like 5 friends and we just sit around, bullshit, watch like shitty horror movies, and crack a few beers and poke fun at them.
Well, I'm even more of a recluse because my friends are the ones that are here right below. They don't live in the same part of the country, so I come on here on the internet to talk to my friends. Uh, my wife says, "Have you asking you, Collier?" She says, "Had you had a chance to check out this channel before, Collier, or did you just find out about it?" I think Kevin told him about it, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I just found out about it. No offense, and I just found out that you guys were asking me to be live. I thought you were just asking me to watch it.
Well, no, I didn't know. I was coming home from work, and Kevin called me, and so I got to eat first. I'll go on. But my wife says I'm a recluse too, but I haven't even made one friend here yet. LOL. Well, um, yeah. Without mentioning the name of the town, we're living where you grew up. We just moved here 3 years ago. From Texas, and so I've got my collection all spread out here. So this is where I'll die here because I'm never going to
Well,
move again.
Not
But
for sale, but
I'm
it's pretty
pretty
badass. Huh?
close to. That's why I'm asking questions about where are the
No
cool
directions
people,
for
where are
the
the cool
front.
stores? Because I've only been to that city one time. We never leave.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you're
I just
looking
brought
for
this.
places that are like hobby spots to check out, I always say like JC and Hobby. It's really the main place. I've heard Collectomania. I haven't been there yet, but that's kind of like more of a. I think they'll take anything
Made by the same
vintage.
guy.
It's like a glorified thrift store, from what I understand.
I went to a place called Kane's Collectibles, or was it Kane City Collectibles? And it's when I first moved here, it's up in Council Bluffs,
Okay.
and it's a giant old, probably 100. It's an ancient building, and it's a record store, but it also has monster magazines. They're really into the old '60s and old comics, and the records are just stacked up. It's unbelievable. And then down in the bottom floor is used to be a bar in the '70s, and that's where they have all the 78 RPM records. And it's man, it was wild just seeing all the mirrors and the carpet on the walls. But it's it's a crazy place, but it was a long drive. But I never go anywhere. I gas up my car about once every 2 months because everywhere I go is it takes about 1 minute to get where I'm going. So
That's the only place the only thing I miss about living there.
uh,
I barely
there's
go anywhere. I don't drive my car maybe like once every 2 weeks right now. I barely drive because it's all
yeah.
walking.
He lives in California, but in a very small, well, bigger community. But it's similar in some ways.
I live
Fun
Man,
real close to
spots to live
downtown.
in California.
but there's no stores that look like Kevin's store around
No,
here. No, where you're at, but also around here, right? Cautious. There's nothing like this.
No, there's definitely like it's hard. There's not a lot for like monster fans in Iowa, unfortunately. The especially like for conventions. We used to have a few conventions, but they got shut down.
What do you mean they got? Why were they shut down?
Well, I'm not sure I can say.
Okay,
From what I
Roy.
understand, it got caught in the middle of a bunch of
Okay.
essentially a convention turf war. Is the best I
Oh,
can
okay.
describe it.
Okay, so where are the nearest big conventions then? In
For horror,
Chicago or something?
pretty much it's a kind. We had a horror convention here last fall, but from what my friends told me that went, it was like a third horror and the rest was anime.
Ooh, yeah.
The closest horror convention I've had been able to go to was Horror Hound, and that's now in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Have you heard of an man? Have you ever heard of a mask maker and special effects guy named Joe Riley? Does that sound familiar?
Joe Riley.
It's way before your time. He would have been mainly producing stuff in the 1990s.
What is some stuff that he's made?
Well, I met him in the 1990s, early 90s. He was in Dallas. He didn't work in Hollywood. He worked on some movies that a cartoonist named John Michael. Oh man, my mind's gone. McCarthy. He made some movies like Sore Losers, exploitation type movies out of Memphis, and he worked on. But he was an amazing mask maker. That's the guy that I saw him make masks and sculpted model kits, and he was a great artist. But I used to do this magazine about horror and pop culture and exploitation called The Sophisticate. And he said, I want to do a TV show version of this is before the internet, back when people had public access cable television. So he did a show called The Hypnotic Eye in Dallas, and I worked with him on that. And so he's probably best known for The Hypnotic Eye, but he
Okay,
passed
I'll check
away.
him out
And
then. If there's, did any of
I
it
could sit.
get like uploaded to YouTube or something?
They're currently on YouTube. Yeah, I think they are. The Hypnotic Eye. But I've got some of his stuff. I mean, he. Let's see if I can. I don't have any masks he made, but I saw someone that had a amazing Glenn Strange Frankenstein mask that he had bought online on YouTube. Someone has a great, but I think that when he passed away, someone may have destroyed a lot of his stuff.
I think I spied a Nothing But Trouble Dan Aykroyd mask in that display
Great,
case.
huh? Yeah.
I might need you to send me a photo of that so I can send it to one of my friends, because I showed him the movie Nothing But Trouble, and it was one of the few times afterwards I saw him get pissed off at, for me showing him a movie.
Oh yeah.
I watched Head of the Family this morning, and it that mask reminds me of the mask from Head of the Family too.
Wow. It's just I can't even imagine people that how could people live in Mesa, Arizona, and not spend most of their time in this store? It's weird. He he's the guy that taught me about Super Sculpey, and back in the '90s there was this big craze to make garage kits, and that people would
Mm-hmm.
sculpt fantasy models that were never made, and he sold me a prototype of his first flea stack, and this may be the only one in existence. Let me pull it out where I can maybe show it a little bit better. Maybe I shouldn't pull this up. But anyway, let me show you real quick. See this flea stack model kit there is
Cool.
one of Joe Riley's.
Vintage wrestling or modern?
Vintage wrestling or modern. But he was anyway, and the only other guy I know that was really that went to Hollywood was a friend of mine from college named Tom Ranoni, and he was a special effects coordinator, and he worked on Bride of Reanimator and
Oh, cool.
the Wishmaster movies.
Oh, which ones? I love the Wishmaster.
I think the first were there more than two?
Yes, there was 4 in total. The first 2 are probably the most worthwhile watching.
He would have been the guy on the first two. Now he didn't do the special effects; he was the coordinator. So basically, he got all the people together and.
Yep.
Oh, Return of the Living Dead Part 3, the one with the guy from Adam 12 in it. The one
Yeah, and it
where the
has
guy
the
brings his
chick
girlfriend
that's
back and
like
she's
doing piercing herself out.
right. He
I
was
remember
a
a
special.
lot of fans like loved that one, but I watched it and I was like, that one sucked.
Well, it did, but I agree with you. But I look at it, it's like how was the special effects on it?
Oh,
Because
the
that's
effects
what
were
he worked.
great. They were
Yeah,
flawless effects. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
It was just one
He
of those where what everybody was fixating on was how the girl was so hot or whatever.
well,
And
he
I just
got
watched it.
this
It's like,
guy
that character was an idiot. She got herself killed.
I don't really remember the plot because I haven't seen it since it played in the theaters. But
It kind of felt
uh,
like I don't know. It was like one of those forbidden romance movies.
see, Joe Riley's passed away, and my friend Tom has also passed away. But that Return of the Living Dead Part 3, if you have the DVD of it by any chance, there's people. I don't know why people love streaming movies. These DVDs and Blu-rays with the alternate tracks, audio tracks. Someone was saying, I don't know, maybe it was Quentin Tarantino was saying you don't need to go to film school anymore. Just buy DVDs and listen to the director's track. And but there was a track where I guess the girl that played the zombie and my friend Tom, that was the coordinator of special effects, were on the audio track for the whole movie, talking about the movie. And my friend was getting drunk while he was watching the movie being recorded in the studio, and you could tell he just kept trying to hit on this girl the entire audio track on this. But anyway, he was quite a character.
I love tracks like that. Like
Yeah,
one of my favorite movies of all time is Cannibal the Musical.
I do like that. My wife hates it. I said, "Why
Well,
would
your
you?"
wife is wrong, objectively. It is a masterpiece. Disney agrees because they ripped them off and stole the Snowman song for Frozen.
Well, those guys are musical geniuses, and
Um,
one of the times I've laughed harder in my entire life was when I was in the theater watching Team America, and I think the
oh, my
it's
wife
based.
loves Team America.
Yeah, it's like it's like one of the old Jerry Anderson puppet shows, and they're I'm trying to remember because I haven't seen this in probably 20 years. Their ship shoots out of like the nose of one of the presidents on Mount
Hmm.
Rushmore with this "America, fuck you."
Yeah.
It sounds like the Power Rangers theme, and I was laughing so hard.
I also love in Cannibal the Musical. If you have it on DVD,
I do.
their commentary is literally just them getting shit hammered drunk
Yeah,
on every form of alcohol.
there's uh, there's there's kind of a that's kind of a tradition. I don't know how many DVDs there are where there's a commentary track with people getting drunk, but I find those very entertaining. Um, let's see. There's some comments here. Let's see. Uh, okay, Missing Mars, Greta of Friends here. I don't know what that means. Okay, here for sure. And then that thriller bust is hot, says John Chorus. My wife says, but Myerstown looks like a Hallmark movie set. Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. Starshine says looks great in there. Gotham City Comics. Missing Mars says Kevin back on Thos Charlton's. Back. Oh, he wants to look at more Charlton comics. Okay, but we can. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I had a special prize for a missing Mars if he as soon as I ship out his books.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know what's going on.
I might have spoiled
Starshine.
it. He might have already saw it. If he's talking about Charlton, he might have already
Oh
seen it.
shit! He must have seen
Have a
which.
good
Starshine says Collier's Mask are gonna look great with your collection. So cool. Yeah, they definitely will. Hey, Bronco Bear says, hey, Gratu and everybody else. And Bronco says, Cannibal the Musical is one of my all time favorites. Rewatched it recently, drunk in Buenos Aires, followed by Orgasmo. Drunken commentary, yeah, says Bronco. Starshine, nice. Okay, I'm done with the comments. My wife loved Orgasmo, but I don't think she liked Cannibal the Musical. I don't, but it's great. And all
Dang.
the South Park musical movie that was pretty amazing too. Yeah, those guys are very talented musicians. That's for sure.
They're just talented writers in general.
But it makes me realize, I haven't watched South Park in probably a couple of years. I could assume it's still on the air, but I guess because we don't have cable, I don't know. Let's see what's
Here's
going
his
on here.
Instagram. Here's his Instagram if you didn't plug it already.
Oh yeah, sorry, no, I didn't. Okay,
And he
Instagram.
was saying that he had to go eat dinner soon, so we don't want to keep him
Oh,
here if
am
he
I?
has to
I'm
go.
keeping you from dinner. I'm sorry. I went ahead and ate, and then I'm making you guys starve. Sorry. Well, um,
So if you have to go, yeah, just pop out. I think we're gonna maybe keep going. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
we can go
thanks
for a
for
little.
having me on, guys. It was fun chatting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
come back anytime and just pop in because we'd leave the link in the chat and just come
Yeah,
in.
please do. Yeah, I want this to be more of a monster channel than a comic book channel because that's I really rather talk about monsters and music than comics because most of the people that are into comics are a bunch of fucking idiots, to be honest with you.
Y-
At least
yeah, I don't like
Not these kind of comics though. People that read these
not
are
those
cool.
the
guys,
big
not
comic.
these.
These you don't CGC these. You don't slab these.
Yeah, no, I just the modern comic book collector I don't like, but I am a comic collector, so I guess I would qualify as a fucking idiot. But I'm just trying to be a reactionary. But anyway, it's wonderful having you on. Yeah, please come on anytime.
All
Now,
right, sounds good. It was good meeting you guys.
nice
Thank you
meeting
for
you, Nate.
everything.
I'll probably send you a message on Instagram. Take care.
All right, sounds good, man.
Bye.
All right,
Take
bye.
care.
That was cool.
I didn't mean you guys in the chat being assholes. Just you know what I mean. I'd rather talk about monsters than comics. You know that. All of you know that.
These kind of comics, I can't wait to read this tonight.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, man.
Too.
I wish he sent you multiple copies for your store.
He sent me a sample so I can figure out which ones I want to order for the store.
All
Yeah,
of
I would
them.
be interested in those when you order some. I would be interested in them. It reminds me of the zines I used to get in Golden Gate Park a long
Yeah,
time ago.
he's very much doing what people in the 80s and 90s did. That's really cool because I don't think he's more than like 27 years old. Uh,
Yeah,
so
he's the age of my youngest son. That's why I asked about like how he got into this stuff because he's young.
yeah, that is a great question because and he's really well. It sounds like Friday the 13th is what got him at the beginning, and I poo poo Friday the 13th because well, I don't know. When I was in
That's
junior
how
high
you get.
school, that was the movie that came out that all the popular kids. Oh, it's so scary. It's like
That's how we all got started in masks. Though was that hockey mask because you take the ones you buy at the store and you
uh,
customize it. You melt it with a lighter. You put stabs in it. You put blood on it. You burn it. We even put a bullet in a hockey mask one time and almost blew ourselves up. My friend, he put the bullet in the mask and he hit it with a hammer, and the bullet exploded.
I miss Man Bear Pig that used to come on the show. Man, that guy was so into his entire house was nothing but Jason and
Hey Meyer, look at
Well,
this cool figure. Look at this
yeah,
Punisher.
Simon just got that last week. He got that 2-pack. That Punisher's great.
that's like Popeye. What's going on with his arm?
Yeah, he has an arm that's like a bazooka.
Yeah, I forget the guy's name. Simon knows who he is. This is from the movie
Bushwhacker.
Bushwhacker. Yeah, that Punisher's really nice. That's like maybe the only thing I don't like about it is the design of the skull on his chest with the squinty eyes. I haven't got used to it yet. I feel like it doesn't quite look
Well,
right.
The
that's
one
something
laughing
that
that's kind of crazy too.
Yeah, the weapons he comes with are outstanding. This is the best Punisher figure that has been made so far.
oh wow. Well, it's just Marvel's embarrassed about the symbol because it's been used by so many they
Yeah,
just
you're
they're
right.
embarrassed of their own property, It's
Oh, I haven't seen this
so
yet. Dial Tone, the communications guy. This is cool looking. I haven't seen it. The new GI Joe figure.
oh, I missed a bunch of questions. Bronco was quoting the "Now You're a Man."
Orgasmo.
You know, has anyone seen their? I guess it hasn't been made into a movie. They also did a Book of Mormon musical. I've heard the soundtrack to that online, and it's pretty good too. But that was just a Broadway thing. Um,
Look at these gold chains he comes with.
This is the Super 7.
my God.
Rapping Mike.
My wife said I saw that musical back when I hated musicals. Oh, okay. And I used to be one of the angriest people ever. I could try again now that I'm like 3 decades older. I'm sorry. I put her on blast, and she's saying, "Hey, maybe I'd like it now." Yeah, I'm sorry. John Gores says, "Was Collier influenced?" Well, it's a little late. Influenced much by '80s metal album covers. Any specifics? The Mob Rules is very special. Used to have it on vinyl. I don't know. Starshine says it's always fun to have a place to hang out and talk about monsters. Absolutely. This is the place. Um, actually, there's some other places online. There's a great channel called Dark Ride Dracula. I want them to come on the show. I'd like to merge my world with theirs, but I'm hoping I can do that sometime. John Gore says, "Damn it, missed my question." Oh, I'm sorry, John. I'm not good at this question reading stuff. Liar unsubscribing. What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about, Friar Tuck? And is that a laugh? I can't even read. Guys, I can't see. This is so tiny. I guess that's a smiley face. John Gora says the hockey mask was totemic and interactive.
Hmm.
That arm is obscene, to be honest, says John. from the guy that made that bird movie. He's calling it obscene. Greta says, "I don't care. I'm an individual. I'm not a team person." Yeah, good. That's why I love her. She's not a team person. Um, well, today we may be finding out. There's supposedly all my life they're going to release the JFK and RFK and Martin Luther King, um, and so. That should be interesting. Okay, so what are these? The new comics for next? I wasn't even paying attention. These are comics for next week.
Oh wow.
What's going on here? Is this Wolverine in Vietnam? Is that what this is?
Yeah, this is the it's Hell Hunters. It's Ghost Riders in World War Two,
Oh,
right?
World War II.
Or World War Two.
Ghost Rider.
Nazi
Okay.
occupied France, 1944.
The art looks good.
Was
Yeah, the
Ghost
first
Rider
one
an
was
original
cool.
villain in the Punisher? The one with the bazooka arm.
I don't think so. I think he was in Black Panther first.
Uh,
Ghost
I don't
Rider, and you
remember.
have Nick Fury, Ghost Rider, Peggy Carter.
Oh,
Yes.
I can't read that. Can you guys read that?
Sebastian Zardos.
Okay,
yeah.
so you got
What does Ghost Rider look like? Show him again. I didn't see
then
him.
and then I guess in this one Wolverine joins.
There's
Okay.
Sal Romero.
Ghost
I
Rider
don't know.
44. Ghost Rider in 1944.
Never
Okay.
used.
I just know
There's
Johnny
Wolverine.
Blaze and the old one from the Western comics. All these other spirits
Oh,
of the
cool! Look at this. Godzilla versus Fantastic Four coming.
Didn't he already fight the Justice League? Does he go to every comic company?
Going to anybody with the highest bid.
But
It
he's
would be
been with
cool if.
DC, Marvel, and that independent company that makes the Monster Piece Theater. I mean,
Yeah, he's everywhere.
So I don't know what the stories are like in these comics where they've got Godzilla in every comic, but it would be cool if it was if the idea was it was like an old comic where the Fantastic Four would run into Godzilla, and so they'd fight it first, but then they'd become friends and they would team up to fight like Hydra or to fight Rodan or something. That would be cool if like so that Reed
I think
Richards
that's how.
ends up communicating with Godzilla, like the Horta or something. He has a
I think
machine where
that's
he
how
can
the
talk to
DC
Godzilla
one.
and stuff.
That's how the DC one went. I think they were
That
fighting and then they had
that's
to
kind of
team up.
cool.
John, do you have a new
That
Robots
might be
Mutants animation, or is this from like a month ago?
I like how he has the barbed wire wrapped around
last
him.
night. I think it was early this morning or last night. I watched it.
Oh
He
no, I
has a
haven't
new one
seen
out.
it.
It's called
Hey,
yeah.
John,
What is it? It's
when you need to
It's
contact me,
Giant
yeah.
Robots. I think it's Giant Robots Deport.
Oh wow.
Okay,
I'm
what
just
if Mickey
joking. I'm
became
kidding. It should be
the
Giant
event?
Robots Deport.
Oh, you just dropped it.
Yeah, I
John,
watched it. It was great.
I'm gonna
Tons of
watch it. John,
explosions.
you need to, when you want to contact me, send me a text message to my phone number, because when you send that to my Yahoo, I don't ever look at it. Until Cleo says, "Hey, did you know you got a message from John?" Because she uses my email too. I just don't ever look at that email. I've got like 400,000 literally emails that I've never read on there. I'm not much of an email person, but I mean, or maybe I need to set up some alert to see that when comes in from you. Yeah, I can't wait to see the new animation. Thank
He
you for
was good,
telling me.
man. He's got a lot of explosions in this one where he's getting just better and better with the stop motion with the effects are great in this one. You'll love it.
I I'm pretty sure I have that White Queen X-Men.
You
Do I
do.
have to?
I've seen it in your
Bloodspatter.
collection before.
Oh, thank you. Are you positive?
Yeah, I've seen you show it.
That's part of the John Byrne years, right? Because I have all of those, I think. Okay. That's I'm so old I have to rely on other people to tell me what's in my collection. That's hilarious. I was gonna
Are the turtles still selling? Does this stuff all you have subscribers for all this stuff, right?
Turtles and Godzilla are the two biggest things.
Okay.
That sounds like a healthy America to me. That's good.
Yeah,
I'm
what it
proud
is
to be an
it,
American again.
it kind of means that that's probably the stuff that's okay still because no one is reading the Marvel and DC stuff as much. It's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
X-Men's pretty much dead.
Oh, I love this. John Gores has never texted, not even once. I figure that's the case. That's wonderful, John. I'm proud of you. I'm only the only reason I text. I never used to either. Honestly, I never thought I'd own an iPhone. I hated everything. It's been forced on me, but I admire that, John. I'll look at my Yahoo more frequently. I'm sorry. My
Hey,
wife
is
says I
Ricky
don't look
watching?
often either to catch the notification. What is that?
If Ricky's watching, he probably wants these.
What are they? Old maid cards?
They're playing cards.
Who's Ricky?
Ricky, he loves peanuts.
Oh, Ricky, is he the guy that laughs on Saturdays?
Yeah, like the Joker. Yeah,
Okay.
Does he watch the show?
yeah.
Oh man, I love Ricky. I
Nice
miss
card.
hearing his laugh. That would brighten my day every Saturday. John Gores thing. Thanks, Meyer.
Oh,
Well, I'll
I'll
never
put this in your
text it.
pile. You
Put the
want one in
John
the bag
Gores
or out of the
too.
bag? You want them in the
Uh,
bag or out of the bag?
oh, who are you talking to?
You.
Is what do you mean you're talking to me?
You want them in
Is
the bag or out of the bag? You want one? You want a bagged one?
uh, it did don't I already have one in
I
my
think I lost
pile?
yours behind the arcade machine.
I don't know what you're. What?
I
I'm,
lost yours behind the arcade machine. Remember, he used to be over here, but he fell.
is he still
oh,
back
oh,
there?
okay. I
He's been
guess I'd like
trapped this
one in
whole
the
time.
bag then.
You want a bagged one? Okay.
Oh, I lost yours behind the arcade machine. It's hilarious. I have no idea what's going on, man. I'm half asleep, man.
Yeah, I
YouTube
can't.
is really okay. Is Meyer a mod?
No.
Yeah, he drives a scooter, and no, just kidding. I
I'll
nobody's a
take a
mod because
hammer.
I don't know how to do it. But I'll go get the John Goris link. If my wife can show me how to make people mods, I'll make Meyer and I'll make all of you guys mods. What is the? It wasn't. Doesn't Horror Mike have like 20 mods? Like everyone in the chat is a mod. uh,
Hey,
uh,
John, this for John Goris. John, eventually I want to talk to you or we'll figure something out about commissioning you to do a Batman cover for me, probably pretty soon. So
Tell him to call the store, and then I can get his info.
call the store, and if he could get your info, then we could communicate. We could somehow, like, however you want, like by phone or by mail. Um, I would totally be happy. You could, if you could drop me a postcard. One of those postcards would be fine. You could get my address from Kevin. It's such a cool mask.
Man, I've been waiting like 2 months for this thing. So cool. And this guy too.
These are both. These are like. I mean, you have so many great masks, and whenever you
This
get
thing,
something new to the collection, you know how it becomes like you're like, this is in my top 5 or this is in my top 3. But these are the two of the best masks I've seen you
yeah.
seen.
well, you know what we haven't been talking about is he takes commissions for masks. What is a mask we've always wanted? And and uh, and maybe we could commission him to do it. Then we could all get a mask of it.
Everybody get copies. Yeah.
You know what Joe Riley did? I completely forgot. Is he would do the special effects for the Subgenius uh, videos back in the 90s. He was friends with Ivan Stang of the Church of the Subgenius, and that's what reminded when we were looking at Collier's mini comic called High Weirdness. That immediately made me think of the Subgenius book from the 80s called High Weirdness by Mail and that was before the internet. And he would send. He had. It was a whole book of addresses of where you could write to get free stuff from kooky people, from flat Earth societies, and it was just a place where you could get the most amazing, nutty, kooky stuff free. And he said, don't worry about being put on a list for contacting all these crazy people because you're going to be contacting people of all types, and then the people that watch will just think, oh, they're just like us. They like to sample everything. And but but what Joe Riley did, and I could probably show you. I'm recording something. He did this amazing mask. Well, he did a J.R. Bob Dobbs mask, but he also did mask of I guess what they called the normal people or the normies, and it was a smiley, like a realistic smiley face, like if a person really was a smiley face, and it was like a smiley face was made out of human flesh, and your head was kind of roundish with the big smile and the slit eyes. He did some really ghoulish smiley face masks, and I'll find that, and yeah, I'm sure that it was a commercial made for MTV for the Subgenius Church of the Subgenius. So you could probably look it up on YouTube. Just type in MTV Church of the Subgenius Head. Yeah, that Casper shirt's pretty.
I was
It's an
gonna
odd
actually, you know
shirt.
what I was gonna do with it? I was gonna send it to you.
It's an odd shirt.
But then
I'm
I looked
so
at it, and then I
surprised.
looked at it though. I looked at it closer, and it's made out of like felt, like how itchy this shirt would be.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's almost like a, I don't know, it's strange.
It's felt.
yeah,
If you had this shirt on, it would be the itchiest shirt. You would go
yeah.
crazy wearing
They
this.
And
used
it
to
would
have
fall
shirts like
apart.
that when I was a kid. Yeah.
I remember
Seeing is
these shirts, how
believing.
itchy they would be. The sleeves are like that. Everything's like felt, and your arms would itch like crazy in these
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah.
So I
Okay.
decided not to send it to you. I was just gonna keep it on him.
It's kind of an odd design, right? It says seeing is believing, which what does that mean? Is that like a child ghost truther? Like believing what? That children can be ghosts? And then he's got a sunburst behind his head, which is like iconography,
Yeah, it
like
almost looks like a religious shirt,
yes.
doesn't it?
And then at the
It's like a
bottom it
hippie.
has
It's like a
sunflowers.
hippie shirt too.
Yeah, it's
It's a
got
hippie shirt.
sunflowers, purple sunflowers at the
But
bottom.
I don't know when this would have been made. What does the writing say on going down the side?
It
What?
says seeing is believing over and over again.
Yeah, it says that over and over.
That's weird because it's yeah,
Let's
I
look at the
can't.
tag. Can you guys see it from there?
Uh XL.
Cat is official Casper merchandise. It's a
Wait,
kid's,
it
it's a
says,
child's pajama top, I bet.
what is the year there on the copyright?
2022, it's new. It's
Oh,
it's from
I
three
would have
years
never
ago.
thought it was new.
well, I don't know. Nobody knows who Casper is anymore.
I would have
Maybe
never
it's
thought
a
this was
child's
a new shirt.
sweatshirt or it's a child's size.
John Gores used to have a real nice sweatshirt from Rhino Records, had that awesome greaser Rhino logo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Yeah. I have to admit it because it's almost, yeah, like a ray that would be coming out of Christ's head.
Yes.
I don't know. No, I wouldn't. I won't make the joke. Uh, no, I can't say it.
Yeah, and it's even shaped like a church window. See how it's shaped?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think someone's trying to make a joke about something that you really shouldn't joke about, because the Bible says don't ever joke about that one thing that'll send you definitely out to the wrong place. So,
Yeah.
uh, uh,
If it like said he is risen or something on it.
well, no, it's just you're never supposed to joke or blaspheme the Holy Ghost, and I think that's what someone's trying to do there. It's like they say that's the one unpardonable sin is blaspheming the Holy Ghost, and it kind of seems like they're
Oh
trying to
yeah.
make that the holy because so it's not me, it's whoever made that shirt. Jennifer says, I was thinking shaped like a tombstone with the flowers on the ground. Yeah,
Maybe that too.
Yeah, because that's the thing is you're not supposed to, as a kid, think about Casper really being a dead kid. Although obviously that's the case, but you're just not really supposed to think about Hot Stuff really being a devil or being in hell or that he's obviously a child of a fallen angel. I mean, you're not really supposed to think about it. It's just like, oh, he's just a fantasy creature.
Maybe I'll get a new shirt.
You're
I'm
not
starting
supposed
to
to
not
think
like this
about
shirt.
Wendy, the good little witch, you know. You're not
I
supposed to
pulled out
think about that.
some comics yesterday, and a couple of them are hot stuffs. Look at these hot stuffs I pulled out. There's just two of them, but they're pretty good. Look at this one
Damn.
where he's lighting this bear who's a bum or a hobo. Is that a homeless bear? And he's doing him a solid by lighting his cigar. Look,
Yeah. I think he's more of a hillbilly, I'm thinking. Or a
maybe he's
bum.
a
Yeah.
zombie.
Kind of a bum.
Yeah, you're right because of the overall thing.
Yeah.
And then look at this one. How great is this? Look.
Yeah, that is good. Is that a 70s one?
Yeah,
What's the
it's a
what's the price
15.
on
No, it's a 12 center.
Is that a
it? Ooh,
mummy
what
he's burning?
Yeah, he's burning him. Well, the mummy tried to grab him, and he set the mummy's hands on fire because he's hot.
what was the price on the white cover one with the cigar?
It's 12 center too.
Oh, what a
They're
great
both
time
12
period.
center.
Yeah, I wish I could find more, man. I'm there's nothing like Harvey Comics. Yeah, no one's ever done a mask of Hot Stuff other than the
Yeah,
Collegeville.
maybe. I
Maybe
mean,
he
look at
could.
how cool the design is. He's so cool.
What
This
what if
covers.
what if Collier could do a Hot Stuff head? I think that could. Well, you can't really do it without the permission of whoever owns Harvey. But as far as
That might be a
selling it,
tough thing to make in 3D form. Maybe I don't know.
you think?
Might look weird in 3D.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, man, you got some good stuff there. Is
This is
this
the
recent
stuff. Remember when I told
acquisitions?
you that I was looking for issue number 47s through like at 3 boxes yesterday?
Yeah.
So I think I only really went through 2. I only got through the A's, and I was like, I don't want to do any more. But as I was going through the A's, I pulled out stuff that I wanted to read that I saw. I was like, oh, I want to read that. I want to read that. So this is all the stuff that I pulled out yesterday to put in a reading stack on my table right now. And this is the first thing I started reading. I already started reading it. It's great.
That looks brand new. That looks like something that came out. Uh, look at that. um, yeah, amazing.
It's really good. On the inside here, it's got this full-size G.I. Joe ad. This is from, I think, 1965.
So
And
that's when they
these are the
first rolled
ads
out
that would
GI
really get
Joe.
me when I was a little kid because I really wanted more than one G.I. Joe. I wanted to have like 7 or 8 of these guys to all be an entire platoon or a team. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I wanted to set it up like just like in the commercial.
yeah.
Yeah, this whole first story is him fighting this cat, and it's great. Look at some of this panel work in here.
But everyone in the platoon had to get an identical scar on their cheek as like an initiation ritual. And then when they go against the enemy, didn't the German and the Japanese soldier have the scars too?
Yeah, they all had scars in the same
So
spot.
it's
I had a friend who actually had one of those scars. Yeah, yeah.
just by accident. Did
No,
they
there was
get?
a bad story behind how or
Oh,
why he had that scar, but he had been cut by somebody, like just
oh
like
yeah,
G.I. Joe with a
yeah,
knife or something.
yeah. David Nino Rodriguez has a real bad scar on the side of his face where he was cut with a knife.
I got a stand for my bog beast.
Imagine if you're in the army and you just happen to have a scar like that. Would everyone kid you and call you GI Joe?
Maybe, but
But except no one remembers those old GI Joes.
probably not. Well, our generation they would have, but people are a lot more tactful in real life than they are in the movies. So in real life, no. So even in for the most part, like you know how like people aren't making fun of each other too much.
Yeah.
It's a great. He was
Yeah,
writing his
it's like
last
that
will and
that
testament.
Hegs, is it pronounced Hegseth? The guy,
Mhm.
yeah, he was talking to they were trying, they was talking to the Senate or whatever in the confirmation hearing, and he said the military is the least racist place in the world. That's exactly what my father had told me. That it just doesn't exist. That everyone's like a brother. It's
Yep.
not the people don't in the in the military. They don't really they don't see color. Because I
You
had talked to my
Colorblind.
father about it because there was a comic book from DC called Men of War, I think, or something, and they had a feature
Gravedigger.
called Gravedigger, and
Mhm.
they were saying that the African American soldiers were forced to dig the graves. And I asked my dad about that. He said that's not true. I don't know. He was, of course, my dad wasn't in World War II either. Look at that Dracula.
You know who
That's the only
Shecky
good thing
Green
Tony
is?
Tallarico ever did.
You know who the comedian Shecky Green was? So there was
Yeah.
this guy named Shecky Green. He was an actor and a comedian. So I
Right.
saw him not long ago on a rerun of Johnny Carson on YouTube, probably from the early 70s. And he told a hilarious joke on the same topic that we were just talking about. Now, I would love to lift this joke and just pretend like I hadn't heard it from Shecky Green. I could have easily done that right now, but it would have been dishonest. So Shecky
Yeah.
Green said, when I got to basic training, the drill instructor said, I don't care what color you guys are. I don't care if you're black or white or yellow. From now on, everybody's green. Now that we've got that settled, I want all the light green guys on this truck and all the dark green guys on that truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny, right?
Yeah. What year was that from? The 60s?
Probably about 72 or something. It was
Okay.
on a Johnny Carson Tonight Show.
I have that issue.
Oh, and here's another great Adam cover. Look at this, where he's getting attacked by a hawk.
See, that's a comic that people just don't collect, and I don't know
Yeah,
why.
it
It's
is.
great.
It
I
is the
wonder if I
comic.
have some of those.
You have some in the store?
I wonder if I do.
I don't know. Seems like I would have asked about them at some point, but
Well, today you guys had the e-health experience. Would you say you found your Medicare match?
let's see if he does.
Well, I got for you.
They're really good. They're fun. The few that I have are really an enjoyable read. It's written by that guy John Broome, who did other stuff, right, in the 60s for DC. It's John Broome
Yeah.
and Gil Kane do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Either way, it's always a free service. Find your Medicare match today with e-health, like we folks did. I was impressed with
What is that? Atlas?
How is
That's some.
Atlas
That
Max?
must be some European comic. It looks like.
No, Adam.
Really, man? Yeah.
Wait.
I I don't think you saw the comment when it popped up earlier. Missing Mars said he sent you the $50 for those
Oh, he did?
books.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I popped it on the screen, but I didn't read it because other people were talking or something. But
Okay. I can get his box shipped out then. I had it sitting up here today. Look, I got a stand for him.
oh, neat. He's kind of like, oh man, it's like he's almost kind of Creature from the Black Lagoon. He's also he's like if Nosferatu and Creature from the Black Lagoon and a space alien had a baby, that would be something like that. It's a
He's like a
cool
goblin.
a
I love
goblin.
the
That's perfect.
forehead.
Yeah.
I love the the bubble, the balls on his head, his forehead. That.
Yeah. Yeah.
This would make a great driver's license picture.
Yeah,
It would
really.
come out blurry.
It's perfect.
So you never got the box with the what is that thing called that I keep talking about? Heat Seeker?
No, that's probably next week. I got a box, but it had some tools in it.
I thought you were talking about hardware for a second. I wonder if John Goris seen that display you created with his art.
I hope he has. I still have a few of his stickers.
Oh, he's in the. Well, he's still in the chat. I haven't been reading it. He says he knew a dude back in the day with a nasty knife scar across his face. Tell you what, it's intimidating. A Scarface has already lost a lot, so he was a big pussycat of a guy, really. But it'd be funnier if the Atom was getting attacked by like a blue jay.
It probably happens in here. And yeah, you're right, John, about the scar on the face thing. Is that it? Yeah, it denotes history, and it's not it's like it shows something. It's like a physical mark of tribulation.
They should put it on the Barbies, man.
A scar on your face, if it goes from the corner of your mouth to your ear, it's called a $150 because it takes 150 stitches.
Really, is that
Oh,
a Arizona thing? Is that like a?
It's all over it. I think it's a mafia thing. They would do that to snitches.
I've
You
never
cut
heard of
'em-
that before.
You cut them from the ear. You cut them from the corner of the mouth right here all the way to the ear. That's a $150.
my goodness.
See, I know mafia stuff.
This
He
might be.
has good dental hygiene, man.
I don't know. I wish my teeth
You
were
know
Better
what
better.
it's
than
from?
mine.
He chews on bones a lot and cleans his teeth with the bones.
And he
Oh
probably
yeah.
uses his stick to like as a pick, like as to floss. The hair really does look good on this.
Well, was it? You said it was a good day. Was that because the mask showed up, or did you have
Yeah,
good sales today? Or
no sales, but who needs sales when you have good masks coming in?
well, it helps fund future masks.
Yeah, that's true. But I heard February is going to be a good month for comics.
Why is that?
That's just what the word on the street is that there's good comics coming in February.
Um, sounds like you know something, or you just
No, I don't know. I just listen to this. I got my ear to the street.
okay. I just like everything to suddenly be great, like it really is a new golden age with
Yeah, I
comic
sold.
books as well.
I sold that Thunder.
The
Um,
what?
that Thunder facsimile.
Rosetta.
Remember that Thunder that was right here?
Oh, you mean the Frazetta?
Yeah,
Yeah, good. Someone, yeah, I bought one from you, and
I
I had
sold
one.
that I sold a splash of horror today,
Okay,
and
Oh, Kevin.
I sold a haunt of fear today.
Oh, that's great.
to someone that came
Uh,
in, or
yeah,
someone.
two different guys came in today and bought facsimiles and stuff from over here.
That's
Oh,
cool.
good.
That's a great sign.
I'm gonna turn my sound off so I can brush my teeth, but I'll still be listening.
Hey, Kevin, can you set aside that you said there's a new X-Men facsimile coming out next week or something?
Yeah, it's like 131.
Yeah, I don't think I have any of those early ones. I don't think I have anything before 137. So yeah, I'll take one of those. I'll take that.
Okay.
It's a great sign that people are buying this stuff. This is the better stuff on the stand. Some of the better stuff.
I saw that some of the bad stuff that's not selling, getting canceled.
What do you mean canceled by who? By
This book, it got canceled after series issue 1.
really? Was it not
I only
good?
bought it because I had a Garbage Pail Kid cover, and nobody bought it. It's probably really horrible.
What's it about? Goobers?
Like boogers or something. It's like alien boogers. It's like, I think it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh,
So,
okay. Boogers.
grab your stuff. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Mhm.
Coming right after work. Yeah.
I'm Jonathan Lawson. If you're 50 to 85, I have an important message about security. Write down the number on your screen so you can call when I finish. The lock I want to talk to you about isn't the one.
I don't know what else to talk about, guys. I kind of showed everything that I have, but I hope everybody's having a good day and a great week.
At any time,
Things are looking up. Things are looking
many
all
policies
over.
but you can get a lifetime rate lock from
Things are
Colonial.
good right now, it seems. I think we're going to be experiencing an economic upswing in the next year or two.
It's simple to get. Coverage options start at $9.95 a month, less than 35 cents a day. Act now, and your rate will be locked in for life. It will never increase, guaranteed. This is lifelong coverage that can never be canceled as long as you pay your premiums.
People will have more money to spend on comic books and masks and magazines and toys and records,
You cannot be turned down.
VHS and DVDs and Blu-rays.
Well, if they get rid of the IRS, yes, we will.
Yeah, I'm serious. I have a feeling that's going to happen. Well, it happened in reverse 4 years ago. We saw it happen. I saw my energy bill double. I saw my bank account be cut in half, and nothing changed. Wasn't buying anything different, and it was just that my pension wasn't able to keep up with the inflation for the first time ever. And so I was like, what is going on? This is interesting. So, and if it happened to me, it happened to everybody. I'm sure it did. So
What
we got to get the
about
money back.
how is this going to work? These guys in the military that are being, um, they're the ones that refuse to do something. They're being put back in, and
Yeah.
they're being given back pay, which means
Yeah.
about 3 or 4 years' salary, which means that's enough to probably buy a house, maybe.
Yes. Let's hope so.
What
That'd be
if they've
great.
gotten some other career? Or they probably have. They should let them go back in at the next higher rank. Or in 3 years, wouldn't you go up a rank? How often do you go up a rank in the
It just
military?
depends. It depends on what point in service you are, and it depends on your personal performance. So
I
yeah,
I
that'll
think
probably
everyone
come to
should go
play.
up one rank if they did that. You know.
I don't know if they'll do that.
Well, maybe, but paying them back pay that's tremendous.
Yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to him reinstating Veterans Choice because I know myself as well as there's probably a large percentage of veterans out there that no longer trust the VA after everything that we've been through in the past 8 years. So I want to be able to choose my own doctor, my own dentist. I think that he should be able to do that.
Well, my father could. He had a doctor and everything local. He didn't have to drive to the VA way out in Oak Cliff. I think he did a couple of times for something, but is that a benefit of him retiring as a colonel? Or
No, it probably has to do with location and I'm not sure. It might be, but he might have also had private insurance too. I don't know though.
No, I
But
think it all came. I'm not sure,
the
but
way it works,
heck if I know.
the way it works for me now is it's not that bad, but for other guys, it's much worse. Guys that have to drive a lot farther to get to Sacramento or San Francisco to get to the VA Medical Center. But still, I
Yeah,
want to be able to see a doctor here in my town or at least 30 miles away. I don't want to have to drive all the way into Sacramento. Just to see
yeah.
it.
Kevin, could you show that bloody mouth capsule package
Yeah, I
again?
want to see the
That's
stuff that I just missed while I was
I'm
yanking.
s- that look. Is that something you have more than one of, or can you get
I
more of that?
wish. I wish
It's
I had a
actually
whole
not old.
crate
It's
of
got a
them.
barcode on it. That's great packaging, man. I wish they still made stuff like that.
Maybe they'll start making them again. Open up a factory, a blood capsule factory.
John Gora says, is Neil Gaiman stuff being shut down these days because of all the hullabaloo?
Because
Well, I don't know. What do you mean by shut down his stuff? You mean as far his he had comics, he had
do you have
TV
any
shows,
shrunken
and he had
heads for sale, Kevin?
novels.
Do you have any single shrunken heads for sale?
That's a 3-pack right there.
Are
Three
those for
pack.
sale?
It's a 3-pack. He sells them for 35. I sent you his
Oh,
card. I sent you his card.
oh, that's sicko horror.
Yeah.
And that's
Look at
his
Okay, I
real
here's
gotta
name
look it
the
up.
too.
I'll look it
here's
up.
the monster ghost.
Oh, let's see that.
It's in the package
Oh,
still.
I see. I see. It's is that what was it that you really got back then though?
I don't know, but this is like a balloon or something they would send you, I think.
And you hang a
That's
sheet
that's
from it.
not the real thing though. Is that a modern reproduction of it?
That's if the real thing was actually cool, not just a balloon.
Yeah, I don't
Like a
know.
little thin mask. And then you fill it up with air and then you put the sheet over it.
Yeah, I don't know.
These are fake parking tickets you can put on people's cars.
Yeah,
And then at the end it says kissed off.
yeah,
And I got puffy stickers.
yeah. I don't know, John, if Neil Gaiman's being boycotted. The
3-dimensional stickers. Oh, look at foil.
South Dakota? Is that what it says?
Rapid City, South Dakota.
there were several bedrock tourist attractions that are like in the middle of a desert. They would have Flintstones
Remember
buildings.
these little puppets?
Yeah, when you put your
Yeah,
fingers in them. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. Yeah, I think one of those bedrocks was in Arizona and one is in Idaho. Is that right?
could be.
Look at here's a chicken wing keychain.
That's nice.
Looks real, huh?
Yeah, that's great. It could also be a pendant. Remember they had that. They had like a little apple. There was an apple with a bite out of it. Remember it? And you could get the same thing like a charm and it could be a necklace.
Man.
Yeah, I might start driving my car more if I had a shrunken head hanging from the rearview mirror.
Uh,
As it is now, it's a half a mile. Just the farthest I have to walk is a half a mile, and that's the bank that's on the outskirts of the other side of town. So I mean, I
well,
can walk across the entire town is like a 1 mile walk from one side to
okay.
the next and back.
Oh, literally, the town is a mile wide.
Where so I where I live, it is because I live real close proximity to the downtown, and then behind me is nothing but thick forest. On the other side of the town is thick forest, and down in the valley, the creek by my house is the deepest part of the valley, and that's where the town is all around it. And so everything is within like a 2 or 3 block radius. Everything's walking distance. Everything. The banks, the
Uh,
stores, the bars, the restaurants, everything.
okay.
Like if I order something on DoorDash, every single thing is less than 2 miles and I can get something here in 14 minutes. Every restaurant gets here under 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, I think it's a mile across our town too, but we don't have DoorDash.
Yeah, you don't have to. This place has 24-hour DoorDash for everything. Like if I woke up at 2 a.m. and wanted ice cream, I could just order it on my phone and a guy will bring it here in 15 minutes.
John Burris says, whenever I hear Idaho, I think of that B-52 song. Yeah, me. Yeah, I guess I do too. Then there was that Gus Van Sant movie.
I
I
can
went there
put
when I
a
was a kid. It's
I
kind
can
of
put
cool.
Bigfoot right here.
Oh, you're trying to find real estate to hang these two masks. Is what you're doing.
This one needs foam filled.
So he
I
needs
thought he
some.
filled both of the masks. Is that one he made?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he filled them already for you.
you know it is. See,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you can't wear it. It's filled. See,
Yeah, okay.
but you put your hand in here because it's just fabric. The
Oh,
back of
okay.
them is just fur. So I can put them right here.
Yeah.
Let's see how it looks up there.
That's such a great mask. I would have gone crazy for that when I was a kid. I think I told you guys the story about how my cousins and I used to pretend to be Bigfoot and we would run across the street like Bigfoot in the snow right as this car would. So there'd be the road near my house in the mountains in Pollock Pines. The car, we could see the lights coming from a car and we would wait and do it like at dusk to try and set it up to make people think that they had just seen a Bigfoot. But what we would do is I had this snowsuit that on the inside it was black fur, and so you could unzip it all the way and turn it inside out and put it on, and it was like a thin gorilla suit kind of, right? And then so I would wear that. We wore that. Me and my cousin Sean would take turns. Then Hugo, the man of 1,000 faces.
Uh-huh.
The parts that are furry, like the mustache and the sideburns and the goatee. We would
Yeah.
glue that on our face like that to make it look like we were Bigfoots, and then put beanies on like that, and then we would lumber across the road like to try and get cars to like brake and slide in the snow. Oh my God, we just saw a Bigfoot.
Oh
And I think
man.
that they knew that we were kids doing it, but it was still fun when we were kids doing it.
Yeah. I'll tell you, there's nothing like seeing a Bigfoot documentary movie on the big screen when you're living in Tacoma, Washington, right outside of Seattle in fifth grade. Because
Right.
then you go home and you think, well, man, Bigfoot could be right outside my window. Um, and they had there was some local bank that had a Bigfoot as their mascot, but he had white fur. I guess he's supposed to be an abominable snowman. I used to have a little bank of that. I don't know what happened to that. Yeah. Oh, but as far as Seattle, I noticed on YouTube some lady has put up lots of hours of JP Patch's new that it's new to YouTube. Um, and I enjoyed that. He was the local kids show host, JP Patches. He was a clown
Oh
that
yeah,
showed cool cartoons
I
and he
remember
was
you.
really funny and had Spike Jones music and JP Patches. Kevin sent me an action figure of JP Patches. I think people up in the Pacific Northwest know about him.
I think
Uh,
there was a Sasquatch story in the news recently. I think there was some Sasquatch like hunters. I think one of them died or something in an accident in the news like
hmm.
last week or week before. I forget. I saw it recently.
Best cinematic rendition of the Yeti was still in Creepshow, says John Goris. Yeah. Oh, let's see what he's up to. Oh my gosh. He's
You gotta.
like an older Bigfoot that's like our age, it looks like.
Yeah, she has hair. His hair's starting to gray right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I wanted him to look.
So tomorrow you're probably going to get no, today is tomorrow. I mean, I was
Tomorrow I
thinking
get
today
tomorrow I
is
get
tomorrow.
DC.
I was thinking it's Wednesday because I wasn't planning to go on live on Thursday, and I was saying tomorrow, Thursday is when you get the D, but you're going to get them Friday, the DC,
The day before tomorrow I got Marvel.
the day before tomorrow, which is today.
I got Marvel, and then the day after today I get DC.
Have you ever heard people that say on tomorrow? On tomorrow we will meet.
No.
Or they say on last summer. I'm sorry, but I'll tell you more about that later. Yeah, it's like
On
I
that
would
summer.
have bosses that would send emails like that back in the old country in Texas. So, oh man, look at them, man. They're like lost cousins. Okay, so that one's made by Collier on the left, and that one's made by Trick or Treat Studios.
No, this is Devil's Workshop. His name's Peter Infelice. I don't know how to say
Oh,
his last name. Something like that.
okay.
Collier was mentioning him. He had a bunch of his stuff.
So they're friends.
I don't know if they personally know each other, but I know he had some of his artwork, some of
Okay,
his
but
stuff.
he so he likes him. Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks cool. Yeah, they're yeah,
See,
they look like they're related.
they're half related because he's got green eyes. See,
It looks more like cataracts, honestly.
see, he's got his eyes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
See, yeah, I see a resemblance.
Yeah, the nose. Yeah, they're both equally pissed off.
Who would win in a fight?
Oh, I would hope the Moon Monster would. Moon Monster has a little bit more of a cat look to him, and the other guy's more of an ape. Ape versus cat. So would these files actually have of the Kennedy assassination? Would they really would it be bullshit or would it be truly what really happened if it gets released?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think
Uh,
anybody really knows.
I mean, when Trump was president last time, he released some of it. I remember that he released a bunch of files, and it made a little bit of news, but not. And when do you remember when Trump released the files, and there were all these files about Hitler in South America in the
No, I don't
50s?
remember. I
You
don't.
do or don't?
I don't. I don't remember that.
No, yeah, I remember that clearly, and it was like, oh, so all those rumors and all those movies, uh, it's like it is possible that Hitler was moved out, and that because those they immediately burned Hitler and Eva Braun's bodies, right? The Russians did, I think. So so there's no real proof that they got him. So he could have gotten to South America. And it seems like the FBI or whoever, the CIA, whatever those files they were released a few years back, were talking about that, almost like it was a certainty that he was down there and that
I
he
don't know. I
died
don't
like in
remember.
the late 50s or something. So I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? He's even CNN, that hates Trump has they had on because I like to look at all the different news sources. They were saying that more has happened in just a few days than in almost any president's 4-year term. The amount of stuff he's just gone in and just yeah. What I didn't like those bringing those billionaires in talking about AI and what was it? Yeah, that was that. That was only the only sour moment. That, and a lot of other people feel the same way about AI and what else were they talking about? Well, mRNA or whatever you call it. Because this guy that's on TV right here, this guy with the white hair, he's the guy that invented mRNA, and he's on Alex Jones. This is yesterday, saying that this is not good, and Elon Musk has come out and said those guys are not good, and so he says that Trump's one flaw is that he's charmed by these billionaires. He's impressed by them, and he kind of believes some of their bullshit. But
Yeah, but you can't believe opinions. You know, uh, Trump wrote a book called The Art of the Deal, and everything that Trump does is involved in his business activity and his desire and drive towards success. It's in the book that he wrote. So
Yeah.
when he's sitting there or standing there and talking about those billions and happy and smiling, and that's part of the deal. Okay, you don't necessarily understand even what stage of the deal that he's in with those guys yet,
yeah,
because you're not on the inside. But trust me, he's the right guy to make a deal.
We
right,
So
call
right.
it, I call
I
it good
trust
cop, bad cop. You got to have one guy playing a good cop, one guy playing a bad cop.
Yeah, yeah.
him.
I see what you're saying. John Gora says it was just his head. Didn't you see the movie? I don't follow. What what are you talking about? Bigfoot or John F. Kennedy? I come to the comments too late, and then I don't know what that was about. What movie? Creep Show, of course. I saw it the opening night. What was that? 1982. Six Flags Mall Theater.
I can't figure out where to put this guy.
Oh, they saved Hitler's brain. Yes, of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There were tons of movies, but
Remember that
yeah,
song by Angry Samoans where they saved
yeah, sure.
something else from Hitler and they kept it under a rock? I think that was Angry Samoans. Remember that?
Yeah,
That was a great song, great band.
I
This is a difficult mask to hang.
did you have that comic rack custom made there in front of
Somebody
what?
did.
Oh, you bought it
Somebody
from
did.
somebody,
It was a shop that went out of business in 2020. They had these specially made for them.
but it was made for comics, not magazines.
It's made for comics, and it probably won't even fit Golden Age.
Oh, I see.
It'll fit Silver.
It won't allow you to have many copies in the slots though.
You could, but I don't like putting more than three because you know how you get people to spot. They pull
Oh,
on it to see
oh, I
what's behind
know.
it.
Trust me, I grew up with spinner racks. I was always, oh man, somebody has already pulled through these, and you'd always have the crease, you know.
Yeah, you got to
Mhm.
go to the bank.
The worst is
Yeah,
when you're a comic shop owner and you see people doing it and you want to yell at them, but they don't. These people don't know any better.
yeah. The only positive I see about dealing with these AI blah blah freaks is that people are looking into them and their backgrounds and being exposed. But I don't like this. We will see. Yeah, it's got a lot of people nervous, but there's so many great things happening that that was just the one sour note. Now I haven't seen the interview last night with on Fox News with what's his face.
Andy,
Who did he talk to?
Hannity, I think.
Sean Hannity.
Yeah,
I
he
hear
talked
that
to
he
Sean.
told him to shut up. Is that true? Has anyone
I
seen
don't
it?
remember that. He might have. I don't remember it. I watched the interview.
Yeah, I want to see that. And then he also made a speech to the World Economic Forum today. I want to
That
see
was
that.
awesome.
And
Yeah, I
Yeah,
then
watched that.
and then Larry Fink, the head of BlackRock, was in Davos, and they're having a desperate meeting about what's happening because they're all scared that they're going to lose control of conquering the world. And he decided to walk down the street in Davos instead of riding in a limousine. And these two reporters got right next to him and asked him literally 70 questions. He didn't answer a single one of them, but they're all wonderful questions. And then it's been seen by millions of people. It's that's another thing. I so much is happening. I can't watch it all. Yeah. Yeah, my wife's not happy with all that. Oh man, look how my arm seems like an extension of that brown board.
I watched Nicole Shanahan on Benny Johnson this morning, and
Uh-huh.
I really liked her. Yeah, I really liked her. She came on, and she's the running mate for RFK Jr. She was
Oh
the
yeah.
vice presidential candidate for the Libertarian, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
She's really good. I really liked her a lot. She said a lot of good things about ways to fix California, and she called out a bunch of stuff. And yeah,
So what happened? There's another giant fire last night. Some what
yes, yeah,
what is going on?
they're not stopping. Yeah.
So
Which is, I mean, uh, they're not able to do it. They're not able to stop it yet. Which, I mean, that's fine. Um, Trump will be here soon, and once Trump gets here, it'll get stopped, and it'll just make Trump look that much better once he gets here and fixes it. And he's right about the water. He's right about the water. You know, I told you about the creek in the valley where I live. There's a creek that runs through my valley 24/7, 365 days a year. And at some points it's 4 to 6 feet deep. And it's wide, and it's water that just flows all the way from the high Sierras and the Tahoe National Forest all the way to the San Francisco Bay and out into the ocean. And it could easily be channeled and pushed in the right direction to help people, but it isn't. They just
yeah.
let it flow out to the ocean. Been that way for decades.
Wow. Well, it's pretty horrible. Boy. Are you closed? I guess you're closed now, huh?
I didn't realize how late it was.
7:43. Okay, that means it's 6:43 your time. You've been closed for 45 minutes almost.
But when I had a customer not that long ago, so
Well, he saw your lights on and didn't realize it, I guess.
yeah, I thought it wasn't 6 yet.
Yeah. Who's the baseball signed by?
Nobody.
Should sign it Boris Karloff.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, go to a convention. Tom Savini, would you sign my baseball? Have it signed by just a bunch of people that never worked in or never were baseball players at all. Stan Lee, would you sign? Imagine if you had a baseball signed by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
I think McFarland would sign a lot of baseballs. He wanted to be a baseball player.
Yeah,
Bill Murray would be a nice baseball to have signed. And then you'd have a story to go with it, because I'm sure that Bill Murray would enjoy signing a baseball, and he might hang out
yeah.
with you for a second.
Man, I'm having a blast listening to the National Lampoon Radio Hour. Now that I've found a place where you can get all of them uncut, and some of them have the original 1973 Columbia record commercials and stuff. It's all on Internet Archive if
Is
anyone's
Chevy
interested
Chase
at
the
all.
original?
Hmm?
Was Chevy Chase one of the original guys?
Chevy Chase. You had Chevy Chase. You had Harold Ramis. You had Christopher Guest, John Belushi, Gilda Radner. Uh, Pretty much the only cast members in Saturday Night Live that weren't uh, originally on National Lampoon were, well, Jane Curtin and Garrett Morris and Lorraine Newman weren't. Everyone else started with National Lampoon. And Mr. Mike, Michael O'Donoghue. It's like
We lost
Meyer
Kevin.
has disappeared, or have you?
No, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're giant. Oh, Kevin disappeared.
Yeah, we lost Kevin.
Oh, okay. Well, he needs to go home, and his dogs are probably going whoop 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 whoop. Kevin's dogs are these big, giant, vicious dogs, but one of them sounds exactly like Curly Howard and barks like woo 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 woo. It's funny as hell. But well, that was good. Let's see. John Goris, I'd bring Savini a Vietnam era helmet to sign. Lorraine Newman, yeah, she was not. Hey, Lorraine Newman has an older sister that was a folk singer in the early 60s, and there's video of her on YouTube, and she's got miles of personality, and she's talking about, she's kind of introducing folk songs. It's kind of like the films are made for young people. You know, she's explaining the songs and singing them, and she's really this really cute folk singer. Lorraine Newman's older. I don't remember her. You could you know, it could be easy to look up Lorraine Newman on Wikipedia and see what her sister's name is, but um, she's got a she's probably 10 years older than Lorraine Newman. Um, but I would look into that if you haven't. I doubt you any of you have. 14 people. I threw myself out. Oh my gosh, yeah. I didn't mean to insult comic book collectors earlier. I just really would rather this be a more of a 60% monsters and stuff and lower a percentage of comics, because my threshold of just looking at covers of comic books is just I just can't do it anymore. But yeah, I think this is a healthy, the way we've seen comics tonight. We've seen Monster Mask. We've talked about things. Um, yeah, we didn't really talk much about music with him tonight. Um, I mean, I think I've seen some bands that he's into but I'll wait till he comes on next time. We'll talk about music. I'm not going to speak for him, but I hope he enjoyed coming on and uh, let's see, make this more equitable. There we go. It's so funny, man. What's going to happen with Dylan Mulvaney, man? He's not going to be invited to this White House, is he? Uh,
Totally irrelevant.
do you know that I was talking about that Book of Mormon play musical that
Mhm.
the South Park guys did? I think Dylan Mulvaney played one of the guys on in that musical.
I
And
didn't
I've
know.
listened to the music. It really sounds. It's really well done. It sounds like it's very clever. I wish. Yeah,
I
I don't
haven't
know.
seen or heard of it much. I remember when it was playing at the Orpheum in San Francisco for years. It
Yeah, it's
played in
just
San Francisco for like years straight.
yeah. Well, it's
So
you can
I
hear
just never
all
saw
the
it.
whole soundtrack on YouTube, all the songs, and they're great, and you can figure out the plot of it. And there may be some production that someone's put up on shot from the crowd or something, but there's never been a uh, film made of it. Missing Mars says Monster Comics. Yeah, man, Monster Comic. That's what I was originally into. My wife says yes. Dylan Mulvaney played a missionary. Yeah. Well,
Wow. Really?
I don't know. I'm sure there's been different repertory casts of that. It's weird how you just forget that South Park even exists, but I know they're still clever. I'm sure it just it gets out of your radar because it all I've been watching in the last few years is trying to figure out what's going on in the world, the news, and it's like
Right. Well, most people
but
don't. South Park is relegated to a dead medium because of the deals that they've signed and the way that they distribute their material. Most people don't watch cable television, don't
that's what
watch
it
Comedy
is.
Central or the. I don't know anyone who does. So my kids that live next door that are 30 and 25 years old, they don't watch South Park anymore at all. anything. They don't watch anything on regular television. They don't have regular television.
You know what got into my head several days ago is Sunday morning. There were no cartoons. Well, they're kind. When I first was exposed to Davy and Goliath and Jot. Do you remember Jot the Dot?
I don't remember Jot the Dot. I don't think.
That may have been in southern states. I know it was made in Dallas, but when I lived in Virginia, there was this dot that would bounce around, and every character in this cartoon they were all white dots with faces on them, and it was a Christian cartoon, and that was, but in Virginia where I lived, those Christian cartoons would be mixed in with Bugs Bunny in the after school cartoon blocks.
Really?
Davy and Goliath, when I moved to Texas, and Jot were only on Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
And but anyway, there were the Oral Roberts show would start, and I remember some of this music that would soak into my head because I would hear it the show beginning, and I remember the song God is greater than, and then there was another one, something good is going to happen to you, and I guess it was the Oral Roberts singers, and I'm thinking these songs are ingrained in my head. Like I think I was telling you a couple months ago, I never watched The Love Boat, but that theme song, that wonderful theme song, is stuck in my head forever because it would come on after some show I watched, and I would hear the opening song, but which I think there's a songwriter that did that. It's the same songwriter that did the Wonder Woman theme, that did the Love Boat theme, and a bunch of other really great, songs that get into your maybe Love American Style too. Because
And
you
maybe
think
Love
about it, Love
American
American
Style.
Style,
Sounds
that
about
gets in
right.
your head, and it will never.
I really liked Love Boat when I was a kid because it was
I
one of those shows that ties into my memory because I watched it. So when I watched it, I was with all those people that are dead now, or I was in the living room watching Love Boat and Fantasy Island while they were all in the kitchen playing cards because it would be Friday night, I believe, when that
yeah.
show came on, maybe Saturday night, Love Boat and Fantasy Island. So I would often watch those shows by myself in the living room, sitting on the floor. Remember how you would sit on the floor right in front of the TV? Did you do that? I sat like
Oh,
right
my
in front of the
mom
TV.
said I had to be 6 feet away from
I
it
was allowed
because
to
of
do that, right?
radiation.
But the adults would be playing cards and drinking coffee and eating cake and smoking cigarettes in the kitchen all night. And so it was like this feeling of comfort in my memory
Yeah,
of
yeah.
those shows.
I love the love. I just never watched Love Boat, but I remember loving the opening credits, and I never really watched Fantasy Island either. But I remember the opening, so I must have been watching the Hulk, and then Fantasy Island came on. There was some reason why I was always there every time he was pointing up at the plane. But I'm not saying the shows aren't good. I've never gave them a chance.
Yeah, I really
Uh,
enjoyed it. I liked
but
that
there.
era of television.
But anyway, I was seeking out those Royal Roberts songs on YouTube, trying to find them, and I eventually found variations of them. And so it's
I really enjoy it. I still watch the PTL Club. There's like a couple PTL Club channels on YouTube that I subscribe to. That, like yesterday, I think I sent you and Kevin a what's her name, Miss Bertha or Miss the big lady that
yeah,
plays the
yeah.
piano.
I saw the link. I haven't
Miss
clicked on it
Frida,
yet.
Big Frida. Her name was Big Frida. She's so good. That's a great clip. And at the end, after she sings, and she sings Elvira, and then she sings
Yeah,
an inspirational song, and then she preaches a little bit at the end. Tom, uh, uh, not Tom Baker. What's his name? Jim Baker. Jim Baker comes
Jim and
over to the
Tammy. Yeah,
piano with her, and they preach a little bit, and it's really good. But I really enjoy PTL Club, the classic, the buckets,
yeah,
even the newer stuff, but the old stuff when the stage is just ridiculous. It looks like the inside of like Chi-Chi's or TGI Friday. There's shit everywhere, like baskets and stuff. You can tell that Tammy Faye is like in charge of decorating or something. It's
yeah,
crazy. There's people all over the stage, sitting on the stage. There's a giant couch with like 8 people sitting on it. It's hilarious. It's a great show. I love PTL.
yeah. Missing Martha's Book of Mormon was very good, and John
Yeah, I
Goris
heard
says
nothing but good things about it. I just haven't seen it.
I feel bad for guys that transition. They only got a few good years if they're passing cute, but once they get long in the tooth, and life is long. Greta Orloff, he was the cutest word I won't say because AI may not like it. Has aged himself with facial plastic surgery. Too bad. Yeah. Yeah, what a shame. Gotham City Comics says, is that the one that Robot Chicken made fun of with Moral Oral? Davy and Goliath, yeah.
Yeah, David
Is
Goliath.
But you see, Davy and Goliath was made by Art Clokey, right? That did Gumby,
Mhm.
and he was an acid head. He was making Davy and Goliath for the what was the damn I can't remember what their it was the uh, Lutherans. I think it was the Lutheran Church. Yeah,
It was the
but
Lutheran Church. You're
yeah,
right. That's what it said at the
yeah, because
beginning.
it said that at the beginning. I remember because I had a friend in elementary school that was Lutheran, and but anyway, it's. I'm not saying Art Clokey didn't believe in God, but
I watched it. I enjoyed that show as a kid, and
oh yeah,
I grew up as a Catholic, and so I just enjoyed the whole show. I liked it.
yeah. John Gora says, "God, I hated the Love Boat. Had to watch it to get to Fantasy Island, which came
Yeah,
next.
you did.
I think those were Saturday night shows."
Yeah, I think it was a 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, either Friday or
Okay.
Saturday.
There was
It was
what
always it
was
was either
right
one. It
before
was
Love
definitely Friday
Boat.
or Saturday because they would always be playing cards in the kitchen. So
All
that
right,
means
but
that everybody was
the question
after.
is, if someone has an old TV guide, what was on right before Love Boat? Because I was always there in seeing the opening credits, so I had just watched something, and I
It
don't
might
know
have
what
been
it.
Three's Company and or Mork and Mindy. I'm trying to think what would have come on before Love Boat. If they'd have
Um,
been 8:30.
I think Mork and Mindy was a Thursday night show. Am I wrong? I
I don't
know that
remember.
Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley, they were staples of Tuesday. I remember that.
I just
Uh,
don't remember anymore. I used to have it all completely memorized, but I stopped watching TV right about ninth grade. Right about ninth or 10th grade, I stopped watching television and started driving around in cars all night.
My wife says that sounds like fun. Smoking and drinking coffee and eating cake, socializing all night. Hey, you know
That's what
what?
they
I
would do.
found the TV guide that I'd saved from when
And
I was
yeah,
a
they would
kid.
play cards.
I found the TV guide I'd saved that, and it's because I was looking, when my wife was born, she's 13 years younger than me, so I looked up the exact date and I knew what time she was born, and so I look at and I found the TV guide, and so I could see, what was playing on television when she was born, and it was, as I recall it, I think it was right when Laverne and Shirley was starting. This is in 1978. Um, maybe it was Mork and Mindy. It was pretty
Look at
trippy. It
old TV
reminds me
guides are.
now of that Bowie movie, The Man That Fell to Earth. Yeah.
So what
Uh,
year do you think? So here's something with Archie Bunker on the cover.
yeah.
It's 1981. That's a little late.
Yeah, that had been on the air
Here's something
12,
with
13
Muhammad Ali
years,
on the
12
cover.
years, I think, at that time. I think he
Yeah,
started in
let me look in this
1970.
one.
Oh,
What year is this? Where's the date? Here's 1975. Was Love Boat on
oh.
in 1975?
No, I think it didn't start till maybe 77 or 78.
Gosh, let me grab all these.
What part of 1975 was that?
Let me look.
That
I've
could
just
have
grabbed
that
the
could
whole
have
stack. Let me bring it over to the couch
it
over
could
here.
have Kolchak in it. It could have
Yeah, let's look.
Planet of
We'll
the
look.
Apes.
Let's look
Uh,
real quick. See what we got. So
is it from San Francisco?
there's a bunch. I'm gonna try and put them in chronological. There's a lot of 81s. Here's a 75. Here's a Here's 77. This right here will probably have uh Fantasy Island. 77.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that issue. Is that Frank Sinatra on the cover?
Yeah, it's Frank Sinatra for some sort of a detective TV movie that he was in. We'll look at that one. I think we're going to go with that one. And then we'll look at the region too. Here's 79. Let's go with this one with Frank Sinatra on the cover.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what the region is in here. This might be LA.
Is that your own personal copy or one that you bought later?
This is one that I bought later. My mom threw these away. She like had a garbage bag in the garage that was just you'd throw the TV guide into it, and once the garbage bag was filled, then she would take it to church. And it would be in like a paper drive or something, right?
Well, my mom would buy 2 copies of the TV Guide every week, one for upstairs and one for downstairs. One was my copy for me up in my room, and one was she didn't want
So this is
it taken.
the Los Angeles Metropolitan Edition, the week of November 19th, 1977. So let's go to Saturday and see what the lineup is for Saturday night. Okay. So it's Starsky and Hutch. So at 8 o'clock. So what was going on ABC was Starsky and Hutch came on at 9 and Love Boat came on at 10.
I never watched Starsky and Hutch, but I bet I would like it.
It was great. I watched it. I watched both these
There
shows.
was a lot of shows that I never watched, but I was aware of them from like Mad Magazine parodies. And
8 o'clock was Tabitha.
yeah, that was
The
weird
Jeffersons was
because
on at 9 o'clock.
Bewitched ended in 1972, and she was like a 6-year-old girl, and then it comes back in what 1978, and
Yeah,
she's
and
in her
she's an adult.
20s. It's kind of like what happened with Flintstones. She suddenly is older in Pebbles and Bam Bam.
Packard. Remember? Have you seen the parts in what is it called? Reflections of Evil.
Of
At the
course,
introduction to Reflections of Evil, where Tony Curtis is talking about Damon Packard's
yeah,
directorial talent.
yeah. I bet Damon Packard has a lot to say about the passing of
Alien
David Lynch.
and David Lynch, yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember Stanley. I never watched that movie, but I remember there was a snake movie called Stanley, and then
Yeah, I
there's
remember
another
the
one called.
commercial. I don't think I ever saw it, just the commercial.
Yeah, me neither.
Some sort of a Lucille Ball special happened this
Oh
week.
man.
Big special with a bunch of people.
By that point, her voice sounded like mine. That was so sad. She smoked so much.
Columbia Records and RCA Music Services records and tapes. So here's this new movie. It's called The Joker is Wild, and it has Mitzi Gaynor and Frank Sinatra in it.
Okay, a TV movie.
On YouTube. Just about everything in here is on YouTube. Looks like it was the Peanuts Thanksgiving special.
I've been having a hankering lately to watch Get Smart. I know I have a DVD set, but it's just one. I think it's the first season. I'd like to. Is there a? I wonder if there's a place somewhere online that streams Get Smart for
Remember
free.
this show called The Liars Club? Did you ever watch this?
No, but I've heard of it.
This was a good show. I enjoyed it. It used to come on at 11 o'clock at night on Channel 2 in San Francisco. And it was pretty funny. Like it would have celebrities lying about items, and like 3 celebrities, and one of them would tell the truth, and the 2 other ones or 3 other ones or whatever would be lying about the item. And it would be these odd, strange things that would come out, and it was pretty funny. I liked The Liars Club.
Huh.
I was looking at these beef prices.
Oh, well, yeah. And that's 78, is that right? Well, that was the
November
time.
77,
77.
1977.
Okay, well, at that point, Everyone was complaining about inflation. That was during Carter's presidency. Space 1999. That must be the second season. Let's see that Popeye ad though. Those look. What is he? What is Sweet Pea saying?
Where can I find a laugh? It's a poorly drawn Sweepy.
I know he looks. Yeah, he looks more like a pinhead.
On my show today at 4 on KTLA 5.
Okay, and then Space. What time did they run Space 1999 in Los Angeles? What
4
time of the
o'clock
day?
on Channel 9. These two shows are competing in the same time slot. They're both 4 o'clock
Four,
starts.
4 o'clock on what day of the week?
Oh, this is on Sunday. On Sunday.
Okay, so that's original run of the second season, and it was on 4 o'clock Sunday. Yeah, and in Seattle they ran Space 99, I think, on Friday at 5 in the evening, and then when we moved to Texas, the second season of Space 1999 I couldn't watch because it came on at like 11 o'clock at night on the Saturday. I wasn't allowed to stay up that late. Um,
I'm sure I watched this because this is November of 1977, and there's a picture of R2D2 and C3PO here. So
yeah.
every time Star Wars made an appearance on television, I was pretty much watching it.
Yeah.
That's the other thing
Well,
about looking at this particular era of TV guides is I was really watching a lot of TV at this point. This is sixth and seventh grade for me right here, and so
yeah.
uh, I'm watching TV every night. So I probably watched every single. I could go through this TV guide and show you what I most likely watched.
Yeah, I could as well. Yeah. Oh, here's Kevin back. You're still at the store or are you at home now?
Yeah, I finally got him on a stand. Took forever.
Oh, yeah, let's take a look real quick.
Let's see that.
Oh man, look at him there. What did he replace, or was he just in between two masks?
I just tightened him up. I just moved everything over a couple
Oh, okay.
inches.
Uh, that's great.
Yeah, it looks really good. What a
And I
wonder.
think the
And where'd the other
bog
guy wind up?
beast, I'm gonna end up putting him back here too. I think.
Do you want to put him next to a creature from the Black Lagoon, or do you want to line up? Is it good? I wonder, should you line up masks by their color or by their character, or I don't know how you would do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I need to get a Tor Johnson mask sometime. Those are
They're
easy to get,
remaking.
right?
I just ordered one. They're remaking him.
Is he gonna, how authentic is he going to look to the old one?
I think it's made with the original mold. Yeah.
You ordered one for sale?
Yeah.
How
It
much is
comes
it
out
gonna?
this year, 2025.
Okay, that's a great mask.
Yeah, it is classic. I
That
just knew
creature is
Tor
great.
Johnson when I was a kid. I had never seen any movies with Tor Johnson in them. I just knew his face from the mask, first
Yeah,
from seeing it at the store, then from seeing it in the ads in the newspaper, and then from seeing it in the back of Warren magazines. And that was the first time I saw that his name was Tor Johnson, but I still had never seen a movie with him in it.
that's the damnedest thing. Someone that's known more as a mask than for anything else he ever did. Because what did he make? The Beast from Yucca Flats and Plan 9 from Outer Space, two
Which is
movies
so
that
great.
no one ever had seen back then. They were
No.
too bad for even local stations to run them late at night.
The
And
Beast with Yucca Flats, you have to cut out the first 5 minutes because there's nudity and it's outstanding. It's beautifully shot. You know how that movie starts with that girl, you know?
yeah, yeah, I
It's
know.
great.
Uh,
Let
something
me go get
else.
the bog beast.
Okay, I think that's what we weren't supposed to see. Is
What's
that
that?
must be a Charlton comic that was being referred to earlier. There any footage of tour wrestling? That's a great question. I
Yeah, I
kind
would
of
hope
doubt it.
so.
I bet
If it
if he
exists, it would be
was
on YouTube.
George the
Well,
Animal Steel played his role in that Tim Burton movie that they did.
Yeah, it was good
well,
too.
if he was in movies in the 50s, his career as a wrestler was already over. He might have been wrestling in the 40s. I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't know much about that.
I don't know either. There might not be any film footage of it left or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's the Bog Beast.
That's such a great mask, the Bog Beast. It's comically horrifying. What I like about it is that there's a softness to it. The same with that other one that he's in the process of making, the gremlin looking one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even the Bigfoot itself, there's something that has a softness to it that's really cool.
You guys should watch that show. It's on YouTube. You can watch it for free.
What is it?
It's long. There's like tons of episodes and seasons. He
Oh,
he
it's
mentioned he mentioned the name of it. I always forget the name of it.
Hellion? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, something like that. It's filmed like a documentary about these guys going and investigating these
Oh,
creatures. They get an email from somebody and they go investigate. It's like I don't know if it's North Carolina or somewhere, and they have these caves underground and these creatures. I think they live in these caves and they come out and they terrorize people when they're sleeping. Like come out and knock on their window, make their dogs bark. And it's
that's
freaky, and they see them, and these people know they exist, and they're trying to get anybody to come and help. But it's
hmm.
pretty cool. You guys gotta watch it.
Yeah, okay.
You should call FEMA.
No, they're trying to get help. Yeah, it's cool. It's really well done. It's pretty realistic, the acting and stuff.
None of the
That's a like he said it was a found footage kind of the first of the found footage kind of, or is
Oh,
that
they're
some
just
other
filming.
movie?
They're filming. They're like ghost hunters. You know,
Okay,
when they're it's like one of those ghost hunter shows,
right.
but
Okay.
it's a long series. I gotta watch more of it. I watched a lot of it, but I need to watch more.
Where do you see it on?
I found it on YouTube. And I just
Oh,
let it. It just you just hit play on the season one, episode one, and it just keeps going. It just keeps going and going. There's lots of episodes.
mm.
Yeah, this guy's cool. I need to
It's
clear the table.
it's 12 degrees. It's going down to 7 degrees tonight,
oh my God.
but Saturday it's the low's going to be 23. It's going to get up to 36, and by Wednesday it's going to get all the way up to 47 degrees. Ooh, they got 40% chance of snow next Friday.
It's crazy. People getting snow in Florida.
Damn.
I know.
One of these guys I follow, he's in I think Ohio, and he has a shop, and he had his pipes bust in his shop, and everything got wet. It was bad. I feel bad for the guy because he had a lot of boxes on the ground, so everything just soaked up the water.
Wow.
Terrible.
Is that what happens? The pipes freeze or something? Then it.
Hold on a second. What? Who did this happen to?
Comic book shop, a guy that I follow. I think he's in Ohio.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know that pipes break, and I know that happened to a store back in Texas. It flooded a big part of his store. I don't think he lost anything really precious, but um,
Yeah, because you don't put anything precious on the floor. Let's see what I would lose. I would lose my Howdy Doody. I'd lose these two creepy guys. Eerie. I'd
yeah.
lose what's in this box. I'd lose this box. There's okay stuff, but nothing I'd be too upset about.
Have we seen all that stuff?
I don't know what you guys have seen. Yeah, I'd lose all these.
Well, I don't think you're going to have broken pipes in
You never
Mesa.
know. You never know. One of the shops out here, this kid drove through the front of his store and broke a pipe.
Oh,
Is the building still painted blue?
Yeah.
You'll be
Oh,
fine.
yeah. I'm not going to change that.
Yep.
Not with Project Bluebeam.
oh, yeah.
Not unless they change the color.
You need to paint the roof blue too.
It is.
Really?
Yeah. See? Blue. You got to paint your comics blue.
I came up with an idea for a business. First, I thought it was just going to be a coffee shop. It's going to be a socially woke coffee shop called On Stolen Grounds. I think it's a great idea for a coffee shop in the area. And then I thought if we're going to have On Stolen Grounds, we could also use the same location to double up as an exotic dancing spot at night. It could be On Stolen Grinds. And I could have this, we could do the same staff. The baristas could also be the dancers. They could all be angry and what do they call it, where they don't know what gender they are, or they're a different gender than they look. But it's the whole, I think the time is now. Strike when the iron is hot.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are
that's
some good
cool.
ideas. Is that a new Band-Aid?
These are
My
cool
wife
stickers.
says, "Damn, I just realized what a genius Kevin is for painting his shop that blue. On top of that, it looks so cool. Yeah, and it's a perfect Batman color. The
Who
story's
said
real
that?
good." That's my wife,
Oh,
Greta.
Might be able to get a kiosk deal with Indian casinos with the On Stolen Grounds coffee kiosk. That would be good. And then I could give them a cut. The Indians, the tribe could get a cut, and then also the stolen grinds could be tied in to the casino as well. It could be part of the night. Oh, this is $1 billion thing. You know
do
what
you,
Donald J.
you
Trump
know
says?
what's
He
good?
says if you're
Indian
gonna
fry bread
dream,
is really good.
Trump says if you're gonna dream anyway, you might as well dream big. That's one of his quotes. It's one of my favorite quotes. Dream big. He said, if you're going to be dreaming anyway, you might as well dream big.
There's this place right around the corner. They have Indian fry bread, and they have Indian fry bread tacos and Indian fry bread hamburgers.
I love it
So
so much.
good.
It's absolutely delicious. My daughter-in-law is 100% Navajo, and she makes fry bread at home. It's so good.
I guess I don't know what that tastes like. What is it called? Indian fried bread?
Yeah, you can have it as a meal or you can have it as a dessert. Both. You can have it powdered with honey on it.
Oh, that's something
Yeah,
I've never heard of.
yeah, it's similar to like a soft shell taco or like a chalupa, except it's puffed up and like a tortilla, super thick tortilla, maybe. Maybe is how I would describe it.
Yeah, you could say maybe like a gordita, but it's puffier and flakier,
Yeah, it's like a gordita, except it's got bubbles, more bubbles and air inside of it.
more
My wife
fried.
is saying the closest I've had is sopapillas to what you guys are talking about.
That's kind of close, yeah.
Okay, I know that you would poke a hole in them and pour honey into the hollow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that's pretty close.
or like Myers said, like Taco Bell chalupa bread. I don't know if I've had a chalupa bread or not.
I might go there tonight. I might go there right now.
I wish I could. It's It's like you miss the shittiest things when you don't have access to them. Actually, I guess it wasn't that shitty. I really liked it. Ever had
I
a
used to
deep
go to
fried
the state.
Twinkie?
I used to go to the state fair just to get it, but now I can have it anytime.
See, I don't know, John, in Texas, that the state fair they would deep fry everything. They deep fry ice creams. Like, how do you fry ice cream?
I used to love
Deep
that.
fry
You know what they had that
liquids.
I couldn't understand? It was deep fried Dr. Pepper. How do you deep fry a liquid?
That's what I was wondering exactly.
I've had the Twinkies and I've had the Oreos, and then there used to be this Mexican chain restaurant on the East Coast that used to be in North Carolina called Chi Chi's, and which is hilarious because Chi Chi's in Spanish means boobs, so it was a great name for a restaurant. So Chi Chi's had fried ice cream, and it was like their signature dish, and it was so good. It was so delicious, man. That
I've
was the
had
only
that.
place.
The one I had was really good. It was like cornflakes on the outside of ice cream.
Yeah, there's like a crumbly crust on the outside. It's really good.
It's like a cornflake crust on the outside. Yeah.
Ah, well, Trump hasn't talked about it yet since, as far as I know, since he got in, but he's planning to have a year-long World's
Yeah.
Fair for the 150,
Yeah.
sorry, the
He talked about it.
250th.
He talked about it today at Davos.
Oh, did he? Well, okay. So that's going to be near
He
where I'm at.
mentioned that. He
That's going to
mentioned.
be where
Listen to this. This is great. What he said. He mentioned the three big events that are going to happen under his term, and they wouldn't have happened if he would have had consecutive terms. And he thought he was going to miss out on these events, but it turns out it all happened that he got so lucky that he's going to be able to attend these events
he's
while he's
also
president.
lucky that they cheated and he didn't get, in the 4 years of Biden, because it woke a lot of people up to the
Mhm.
corruption. It
So do you know what?
also allowed him to figure out who all the people that were traitors were, because they started, as soon as Trump wasn't in power, they started to badmouth him. And so he knows who those people are now. There's a lot of advantages to it. So and now he knows who to trust, and he goes in and he's like an avenging angel. He's just doing everything. But
So do you know the three events? So you mentioned the first one.
well, yeah, I know that one, and that's going to be where
Mhm.
Collier lives. That's going to be in Des Moines. So that's if you
We
guys
should all
want to
meet
go
up.
to
We
that.
should all meet up there.
Yeah, well, yeah, you could stay here. What's the other
The
thing?
second one is the Olympics.
Where's that going to be?
I think it's
Awesome.
in LA.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's why they're burning it down so they could
Yeah,
build
it's for the smart city. They want to build the smart city.
of course, yeah.
And then the third one, I think, don't quote me, but I think it's maybe the World Cup. Is that right?
Okay. I
Am I
think we
right
had the
about that?
World Cup in Dallas about 15 years ago. I don't know. I don't know anything about soccer.
Mhm.
So I think it's World Cup. I could be wrong, but there was three big events he mentioned today,
When
and they're
is
all
the
going.
Super Bowl? Is that in February?
It's coming up here pretty soon in
Yeah, it's in
February.
2 weeks, 3 weeks,
Th-
2 weeks.
There'll probably be a Superman commercial during it. That's all I care about is the commercials. I don't care about the Super Bowl. I watch it for the commercials.
You can see the
Uh,
commercials on YouTube too, like right when
You're
it's.
right. Yeah. So there really is no point. And the Puppy Bowl, you would think that that would be great, but it's really kind of, yeah. It could be great. Uh,
Mhm.
I don't
My
know.
dog would win.
What would make the Puppy Bowl great in your vision?
Well, if they really played football, like in those Dogville comedies where they're actually running on their back leg. Of course, they had them
Okay.
dangling from wires. I'm sure it was horrible for the dogs.
Okay.
But
Maybe circus dogs. They could be trained circus dogs. They actually competitive. The teams, like maybe the coaches disliked each other and had a history of working in rival circuses or something, right? Or
yeah,
maybe one was the mentor of the other, and then he rebelled against the original coach, and now he's training his dogs in a different style or something, right?
yeah, I don't. I guess maybe it just seems like it's kind of cheap. Just there's some puppies wandering around. I wish
Yeah,
it was
they
more
just
of
let
a
him walk around. There's
production.
nothing.
with the serious announcer and they play it very seriously. That's
Yeah,
what would be
maybe the
funny.
fix could be in. Maybe some dogs their nails aren't clipped, and it gets a little dicey out there on the field. And maybe it seems like one side of it has like the two aggressive dogs. There might be. It could be. Yeah, it could be interesting.
Yeah. Kevin, what is the name of your dog that makes the Curly Howard noises?
I don't know if I've ever mentioned his name.
No, I don't think you have. Are they names that aren't appropriate for television? Well, you don't have to if it's like a password name. That's fine. But I think you could really go viral if you would film your dog making those noises and put it on your Gotham City channel. I think it could give you 1 million subscribers.
Send it into America's Funniest Home Videos.
I don't think that still exists, but yeah, I mean, it's just every time I hear it, it's hilarious. Just uh,
He can do it on command too.
really.
Yeah.
Oh, my wife is saying there's fires right by my friend's house in San Diego.
I haven't checked and seen the fires in San Diego yet.
Uh,
I
San
have family
Diego.
down there.
Wait, help me with where is San Diego?
South.
South of Los Angeles,
South of Los Angeles. Okay.
That's where the
basically right on
compound
the
is.
Mexican border. It's like 5 miles from Mexico.
Yeah, there's Tijuana's right there.
Oh, yes, San Diego. Of course, that's where the convention is. Yeah, it's real close to the border. Yeah, sorry. I'm really out of
I
it.
haven't looked at the map on that yet. I have relatives in Santee, which is right outside San Diego.
Man. Well, what could Trump do? What would he do? What could he do at this point? I mean,
You fight fire with fire.
Exactly. He'll fight fire with fire and bring in bring in those blow torches that Elon invented. No, he'll figure something out, is what he'll do. What he
yeah,
can do is he can stop it. He'll figure out something instead of not doing anything.
yeah, yeah. I know. I'm just wondering what is the best thing
He
he
can
could
try
do?
what hasn't been done. He could, that's what he could do. He could do whatever they're not doing and maybe see if
Yeah.
it helps.
You burn all the dry stuff out so that it can't spread.
You're actually okay. You're actually being serious. Okay, yeah, all right. I think I've seen
Mhm.
that people do that.
Yeah, they're controlled burns. You burn all the dry brush because
Oh,
so that you have a lot of rain, so you get a lot of growth, and then that growth dies because it's under the trees where it doesn't get light. So it just dies and it turns into dry brush. You go in there and you control burn it so it has no fuel for the fire when it comes through.
Boom. There you go.
hmm. But can that be done at this point?
It's a little late to do that, but they should have done that years ago. But
Yeah.
it's never too late, I don't think, to start.
So what he can do is he can figure out a way to stop what's happening now and then put the right people in charge so that it won't happen again.
Oh, yeah. Well, gee, there's so much I got to get caught up on this weekend. I've got to watch Mondays, all the 12 hours. I've got to watch all that. I've got to watch this interview with Sean Hannity last night. I got to listen to this speech to the World Economic Forum.
It's exhausting, dude. Like I told you, I was exhausted watching Inauguration Day. I fell asleep while they were still dancing. I can't imagine how they were still dancing. Yeah, I was tired. I was sitting on my couch the whole day. I don't know how they did
Yeah,
it. The whole family.
yeah.
You know who I looked up yesterday after watching that clip over and over again of that Episcopalian pastor giving that benediction or whatever it was. I was
Oh, yeah,
watching their faces, watching the Trump family faces.
yeah,
And I've
yeah.
seen this kid so many times and I really never looked him up. And for the first time I piece it all together. Oh, this guy's Tiffany's husband. So I decided to look up who Tiffany's husband was, because he looked like he was on. He always looks like he's on my side. I like the looks of the kid.
Yeah.
His name is Michael Boulos. He's a businessman, the son of a Lebanese businessman.
Yeah. Well, that's something. I didn't even know there were women bishops. I didn't know that was possible. Um, I mean, are there women priests in the Catholic Church now?
I don't know. I
I
don't know.
thought I just don't know. I
I
always
learned a
thought
little
it
bit
was
about
kind
it
of,
from a Mark Dice video. So and my cousin told me a little bit about it, about Episcopalian.
yeah, I don't know. But you must be putting Missing Mars box together.
No, I'm stuffing Michael Jackson's head with the bubble wrap.
There's a dozen Filipino housekeepers that would love to be saying the same thing.
If you guys seen how much bubble wrap actually fit in here, you'd be amazed.
Is there a way you could show us with the camera? Oh, I see.
Okay.
I'm stuffing it so that I can hang it up on a mask hanger.
Yeah. That looks like me at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, those
He was
bags
such a
under the
nice
eye.
boy. What happened to him? What happened to poor Michael? He was such a nice boy. Voiced like an angel. Something
What are you
happened.
saying? What happened to Michael Jackson from when he was a
Yeah, what
little boy?
happened to that boy? He was such a nice boy.
Well, uh, his father was an asshole, and he didn't really have a childhood, so that's part of it. But also the father. Now this comes from this custodian. The custodian where I used to work. His family knew some of his family knew the Jackson family. I think his father knew what's the dad's name, Joe Jackson or whatever.
Right. Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, that's where they were from. And so he said that Michael, in order to, I mean, his voice was what was selling, and they didn't want his voice to change, so they gave him birth control pills. Apparently, is what caused his voice to sound like that.
That's a good
So
story.
I don't know. Is that something? Is that something? What is that? It's got like female hormones in it, I guess, that
So
might make your
permanently,
voice not
like,
change.
gave him a estrogen level. Like he had. I
I
don't even
just
know
don't
if that's
know. I mean, I
possible.
don't think it was done by a
Yeah, I don't
doctor,
think
but
it's
I think
scientifically possible. I don't think you upload and download estrogen. I think that you would just pee it out.
I just don't know. That's what this
I don't
guy
know that.
said.
I don't know
Like
for
Joe Jackson was a mad scientist trying to figure out a way to keep his
that's
son
a great
from.
story. I like
That's
that
what I
story.
was told. I don't know, man. I look through the scrapbook and I see, pictures of, basically a garage band with some of the members of the Jackson Five before. I mean, he wasn't bullshitting, they knew. That's
You know
yeah,
how much? So the Thriller song is played in Revenge of the Nerds,
yeah.
but it's not on the soundtrack of Revenge of the Nerds, but it's in the
Okay.
movie. And do you know how much they made the deal for to play that song in the movie? No soundtrack included.
I don't know. 2 million.
No, it's 25,000.
Oh,
They
yeah.
paid.
I don't know. I don't. I saw Revenge. Is that the first Revenge of the Nerds?
Yeah,
I saw that in the theater. I don't remember though. Back,
this this is the part. They're at a party. They're about to start smoking joints, and they play Thriller.
Been so long
Yeah.
since I've seen it. I saw it in the theater as well. I remember really liking it, walking out of the theater and being happy that we saw it. I think we all liked it. We were quoting the movie as we were walking on the sidewalk outside of it, I think.
Yeah, I remember that too, but I don't think I ever saw any of the sequels.
Should I keep him there or should I put him over here because he's next to the Thriller Werecat?
Oh, I
Should be
don't
over
know.
here.
Up there though, he looks like he's line of sight up there.
Yeah, but he could just take Hulk's place.
Oh yeah, you could switch Hulk and him. You could just switch them.
That Hulk mask is pretty good.
I really
Yeah,
like it.
Hulk's great.
Uh,
Yeah, this Hulk mask is great.
It looks like a Metamucil ad. That would make a great Metamucil ad.
Preparation H.
Yeah, or Preparation H. Yeah, Raisin Bran, like that, something like that.
Oh,
Look at those veins.
yeah, I know. Oh shit, they're pretty insane. Is that missing Mars? That Hulk mask is Lauf. What does
I don't
Lauf
know.
mean?
I don't know.
It's laughing out loud.
Laughing out.
Oh, it's Lou Ferrigno. It's Lou F. Lou F.
Oh, Lou. Oh, Lou F. Okay, sorry. I thought it was Lauf. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Lou F.
Louis. I like in towards the end of Pumping Iron when Lou Ferrigno's dad is like trying to fire him up. He's like motivating him backstage and he's telling him how tiny Arnold is. He's like, he's tiny. He's like a stick compared to you, Louis. Louis, you're a giant. You're a god. You're a Greek god, Louis. That was so great. That's great.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Good.
But there's something about the bodybuilders where it doesn't look like they it just doesn't look like they obtain the muscles from fighting. I don't know. Arnold Schwarzenegger, it doesn't really look like he became that way from combat. Maybe they just needed to. I'm not knocking him, but it's Conan. But maybe they should have put a few scars on him or something. I don't know. The way Frazetta painted, you could tell the guys that he painted had fought, and I don't know.
Or walked or pushed that big wheel around in a circle for 12 years straight. That was the implication of how Conan got that way, is that he
Yeah.
forced manual labor as a gladiator. He was forced to
Well,
lift things and push things and carry things.
they never explained why he has the accent, though, because you could say, "Oh, that's a Sumerian accent," but then in the first scene, William
Yeah,
Smith plays his father, and he doesn't have that accent. And
no.
if they had gotten someone with a German accent for that scene, then it would make sense, I guess. But I don't think if you had, because he was like probably 10 in that scene, and I don't think you're going to change your accent to be what the people that force you to move something around in a circle have. I don't know.
I'm okay with it. I'm able to suspend belief enough
I
that
know I am too, because William Smith's a great actor and everything. But you know,
I think that Arnold was great in that role.
oh yeah, he was. He was absolutely. But
But I would really like to see a new Conan movie that was like that had that is about the dark coast, right? Like the Hyborian Africa, where he's a
yeah,
pirate with elite and everything, and in the jungles, and
yeah,
the guy with the zebra skin, Zula, with
yeah,
Zula,
yeah. I
like
was
from
saying
90
last
to
night.
100, from Conan the Barbarian,
Yeah,
90 to 100 would be
yeah,
good.
I was saying last night. I can never stop calling Khazar Khazar and call him Khazar, and I'll
Mhm.
never be able to say anything but Baylay. I thought that in my head, reading those comics or whatever, I thought her name was Baylay. You
I
know,
always pronounce it in my head as Belit, but I don't know if that's correct.
I think you're actually correct. I've heard other people say it that way. And I guess you go by the little phonics, little marks on the name. But I don't know. I guess I was trying to pronounce it like Bridget Bardot or something. I don't know. Oh boy. I'm kind of reluctant to move because I got the dog sleeping next to me, but I got to get upstairs and see how my wife's doing. She hasn't been feeling too well, and going to probably sign off pretty soon.
Hey,
If
Kevin,
yeah.
Yeah.
is that rabbit mask the same mask that was in that popcorn video that I sent the other
Yeah.
day?
Remember I was telling you I have it?
Yeah,
That's it right there.
it's creepy. That video was creepy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what. How old is that mask, Kevin? Is that's a
Maybe 70s or 60s.
Oh yeah, I see the card there. Yeah, that I think that's 70s. That looks a little like there was an Exorcist movie called Abby. It looks a little like the woman in that movie. William Marshall played the Exorcist in that movie. Drew, Drew, I'm gonna get up. I got to tell her I'm gonna stand up because if I don't, she gets startled awake, and that's not a good thing. Ugh.
I might stuff them with paper, I think, instead of bubble wrap.
Those the first dollars you earned in the business there on the door?
At this store, at this location.
Is that a good luck thing for store owners?
I don't know. I saw it at a bar once.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people do it. But why do you have $2? Is one from the other store?
No, one's a $1 bill and one's a $2 bill.
Oh, okay. How long did it take before you got your first $2 bill? You don't see those very often.
Um, it was right away. It was right away, but I just stopped it there. I wasn't gonna put every 5 and 10 and 20.
Those could be used at Taco Bell.
Or someone might try to steal it,
Yeah, true.
I'm stuffing his head with paper because the inside of this head is so sharp. It popped all the bubble wrap. That's why I was able to keep stuffing it. So eventually, this head would have fallen off if I left it up there. That would have not been good.
Yeah.
So paper, I'm putting paper. I hung up the Superman poster.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I saw you were trying to sell that on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, you see my post on there?
Yeah, it was like sent to me. But you know what? My Facebook Marketplace has always been shitty. And then a few days ago, it suddenly got great. either someone that lives in a city nearby me has a lot of cool stuff, or they finally figured my taste out by what I click on, because all of a sudden there's all this great stuff.
But you know why?
Uh,
They're teaming up. They're going to be teaming up with eBay.
are they? Okay.
Yeah. And when you see something great, you click on it and it'll take you to their eBay. I've never had good experiences on, not too many on Marketplace. They're tire kickers. You know what that is?
No.
They're just people that come and they want to just look and kick the tires.
Oh, I see what you mean. You're talking about selling. I
Yeah,
was
they're
thinking
selling.
about buying. My wife ordered a space heater because the one we had stopped working, and God forbid, so you
So it
gotta
works.
have some kind of heat. And it came in the mail today. I'm trying to get it out of here.
So it's a heater that works in space.
What? It's it's something you don't need in Mesa, Arizona. It's a fan that blows hot air. And if they turn your electricity off, you don't have a prayer unless you got a fireplace. But
The best thing that South Park could do to stay relevant would be to bring their show to YouTube and make it a free show with commercials every week. And if it was funny and relevant,
Oh,
and
blow up. I
it
would
would blow
watch
up,
it. That would blow up. Yeah, that's a good call.
it would be huge again.
Think how they would be monetized and they'd get super chats. It would be live and there'd be a chat. That would be great.
yeah,
Yeah, they'd have to make more money than cable.
that show started when I was beginning my career, and now I'm retired, and it's still going. Um, I remember that this friend of mine had the very first, before the series started, it was a little short film, it's some animated film, and it was just kind of traded around on VHS to people. I remember seeing that. Uh,
I remember it looked a lot different. It looked like it was cut out shapes that they would make.
right.
Yeah, I remember at the beginning it was difficult to get used to the rudimentary appearance of it all. I remember that being one of the like precursors to watching the show was, I'm gonna give it a try. It looks so strange. Maybe it'll be good. And then
Yeah.
Did it come out
after
in
two
90,
episodes, you
first in
forget you're even looking
97?
at what you're looking at. The characters become, real. And
Was
Warning:
it?
risk of heat stroke. Heat stroke, man, this must be pretty hot. Hyperthermia. Hyperthermia can result in death in infants or others. Use caution to avoid overheating individuals. Read and follow all instructions before use. Remove before use. So this is a Vornado. It's made in the style of the old, you know, 50s stuff. Kind of like this is a real fan from back then. This Westinghouse one. This was from my grandfather's river house, but it's that same style. So,
What year did South Park come out in? 97?
um, well, the I think so, and but there was an initial film earlier than that, before it, that was then they made it. I think it was called The Spirit of Christmas. It's the original South Park film. Um,
We used to have a Nintendo 64 South Park game, and my kids and I used to play it like crazy. It was such a fun game. It was such a fun game.
Is that the one that was like Lord of the Rings?
No, it was before that. This one was like an open world shooter where there were all these different maps, and you would pick the characters, and you would run around with these crazy weapons that would shoot chickens and you'd throw snowballs. There were missions, but there was it was a really cool game. I can't remember what the name of it was. Might have just been South Park for the N64.
I remember there was one that was like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I remember the Lord of the Rings one too. I think that came later. I think it came like a year or two after that one I'm thinking of.
Man, I gotta get upstairs. I've gone a little too long here. I gotta see what's going on with my wife and maybe get some sleep. Um,
Ouch.
but
Have a good Friday tomorrow.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
a good show.
I'll probably be back Saturday. If she's working Saturday, if not, I may just I don't know what I'll do. Um, if I do a Saturday show, I don't think it's going to be an ultra long one. But
We should try
anyway,
to get
guys,
we should try to get some comic book creators on here.
yeah, the first one I was thinking of is that Steve Mannion guy. There's some interviews with him on YouTube where he sounds like a very interesting guy. I
We should get
like,
Steve Rude. You guys would love Steve Rude.
well, sure, I love Steve Root. I kind of thought well, he's kind of in your neck of the woods. I mean, do you like if Steve Rude would he recognize you? Does he know you from coming in your
If I told him
store?
who I was, if I told him who I was, he would know who I am. Well, that's obvious, right? I'd tell him who I was.
Okay, yeah, I know. Well, maybe I should put you in charge of trying to contact Steve Rude and get a. The only danger is if, you bring someone on. It's like you got Trump sign. I got Trump signs everywhere. So I need to make sure. No, I don't believe it or not. I don't really want to offend people, but some. I don't.
That's
I
what I'm
don't know
saying.
what his politics are. I just kind of assume, well, this person's cool. They must like Trump. It's like that's not always the case. Yeah.
It's not, but at the same time, so I feel the same way, and but at the same time, we're entering into a new golden age where we shouldn't have to be afraid of what we think or what we feel or what we say. This is America. This is there's a reason why there was a popular mandate for this newest president because people feel persecuted, people feel censored. Uh, in some places around where I've lived recently, you don't even want to think bad thoughts. There's people that don't want to think bad thoughts. That
Right.
just yeah, they don't want
Well,
to. They're purposefully keeping their heads in the sand for self-preservation. So they're ostriches that are afraid of the other ostriches. So they're keeping their heads in a hole on purpose. And so,
right.
but anyway, this is the new golden age. We should be able to say what we feel here on YouTube
Yeah.
without worrying.
I'm not sure if I'm going to keep
Get
that
hurt our
title. In
feelings.
fact, last night I tried to go in and just change it back to Gratu Orloff, and they said you can't do this for another 2 days. So I may change it back to Gratu Orloff, but because the reason is I did two changes like in one day. I think I changed it to the Donald Trump fan club. I thought, well, I'll get millions of subscribers if I. It didn't work, and then I changed it to the new golden age. I thought but what if he turns out to be the Antichrist after all, and and they're holding us down and putting ships and the mark of the beast on it? I say, well, that's always, I guess it's possible. So
Well, the fact that you think that's the sign of a rational, reasonable person to question their beliefs. You understand what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah, well,
that's healthy to think that maybe he is the Antichrist, because the other side doesn't think that way. It's very difficult for them to question themselves, to say,
yeah,
wait a
but
minute,
see,
maybe
the
that,
thing is,
you know,
if he puts out that fire, if he gets rid of the IRS, if he
yeah.
causes this war in Russia and Ukraine to end next week, the other side's going to come around and people are going to start saying, "Oh my gosh, he survived by just turning his head," and everyone's going to say, "Well, we forgive you for having orange skin," and then
Not everyone,
maybe
but
not, but
65 or 70% of the country. So there's always going to be that 30%, I think, that is going to exist. But they the people that they were controlling as their pawns have woke up. You understand? So they're their little beasts that they push around have busted out of the fences, and they're waking up.
well, I don't think he is, but I think he needs to wake up about these AI billionaires that are sniffing around him. I think that's not probably a good thing. Um, but he's doing enough good stuff that it's very entertaining.
There's always a method to his madness. There's
Hey,
always a method.
when's the first press conference with this new press secretary? It's this young blonde girl that apparently was the one that was helping out Kayleigh McEnany. She was behind the scenes.
Mhm.
I think Trump and Kayleigh McEnany kind of had a falling out. But this new press secretary, I think she's not even 30 years old. I don't know
He
when
hasn't
she's going
gotten either yet. He does his own press conferences for the past 4 days. He just will sit there and answer every question.
Yeah, is he ever going to need her? Because I think he wants to go out there on his own. At some point, maybe he'll be too busy. Maybe he'll be off talking to Putin, and she'll have to step in. But I'm looking forward to seeing her too. Okay, wait. My wife's talking. She says you can't assume anything, but yeah, fuck coddling people into our own tyranny. Yeah,
Thank
fear,
you.
mob mentality. I'm not going to be a part of the Internet of Things. That's all I know. Facebook, that. The positive scenario is that he pleasantly surprises us. Yeah, well, I'm already more than pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect him to get this much done this quickly, man. Um, but things can turn around because
It shows you how
uh,
easy it's done if you want to do something.
yeah, yeah, but they can stage things like he's sent. I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 soldiers down to the border. All it takes is someone to stage a fake riot, or you know how they can turn things around and demonize the soldiers, because someone gets hurt. But what happens if you're deported to all your stuff? They put you on a plane, send you back. But what if you have a household full of stuff and a car? Do they pack all that up and deport it with you, or do you just lose it all?
Well, it depends on the degree of crimes you've been committing, I would think.
Well, what if you're just like a guy that puts roofs on houses, or I mean, eventually, I mean, they're deporting criminals. But I don't know. I guess some people might get deported that are you know, just here illegally. I just was thinking the other day, it's like, what happens to all their things? Do they just lose them?
Well, I would hope so, because being here illegally is means that they have been using taxpayers' dollars to fund their lifestyle, free hotel rooms, free food, free jobs in many cases, all kinds of free things that citizens don't get. So
Yeah.
in a way, they owe us. Those people
Yeah.
owe us. They've been ripping us off.
Well, I mean, I
And
guess in reality, they've got probably a nice cell
if you
phone and a
say they've
pickup
been paying
truck.
taxes, that means they've stole someone's social security number and they're paying taxes under somebody else's name.
Or they're just paid in cash. They're just paid in cash every day or weekly, is more than likely the way it is.
How about
And then
But
you
just
they
have
can,
to go
the
you
effect
have to
on
go
the
after the
economy?
employer for that. You gotta go after the employer
The
because
effect on the economy of having every Home Depot in every state nationwide, every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, there's people lined up in the parking lot. So explain to me how that helps the economy. Somebody needs to stop that. Home Depot needs to be held responsible for all of that happening, where they've got illegal people being hired to do construction jobs out of their parking lots all over the country. That's just, I mean, and that's small potatoes, but that's one that pisses me off.
Yeah. I'm upside down. Well, yeah. Well, I guess not. I guess the people that are here illegally don't have big comic collections. I guess I was worried about someone that might be like a legally, and I'm just like, I don't want them to lose their toy, their Batman action figures. I don't
And
think
that would
that's what they
probably
have.
be only like the people that were the real bad criminals, like drug czars that have like a that their comic room looks like that Gem Mint guy with all the pink purple lights and the big giant $800 statues, but they're gangbangers with like gold AK-47s. That's
You
probably
can't
it.
deport me. What will happen to all my omnibus?
Yep, all
Because
of
they
my
call them.
omnibuses and all of my slabs. Essay.
I mean, that's weird. They call them the plural is omnibus, not omnibi or omnibuses. It's omnibus. That's so pretentious. Oh well. So I'm just a little worried about them and their their collections. I
I
hope
understand.
they can
I've
get that.
thought about that about the LA fires too, but then I thought most of them, most of it, whatever happens, it's just going to increase. It's probably going to help the market. It'll just help the market.
Well, I don't know. Some people aren't very sympathetic to the people. They think they're just a bunch of millionaires. Well, yeah, but they they lost their Academy Award statues, and I mean, they're just because they're millionaires doesn't make them bad people.
I know, just
So,
because you own a pickleball court doesn't mean you can afford to have it melt in your backyard.
I don't know. I just I just hope that all these fires get stopped immediately. Oh well. I'll tell you guys a story here in a second, real quick, after we end the show, and then I got to go upstairs. But let me say goodbye to all of you fellers out there. Take care. Goodbye.
Later, bitches.
This have we stopped?
No, I think
Slide.